Okay, cool. We'll go over today, no problem. Did they assign accountability partners yesterday?
No.
We partnered
We
up,
talked
but
the importance of it.
Okay, what were some aha that you guys got from that?
That you can't work alone, there's no man is an island and it needs to be.
it's easier to hold accountability if you have somebody to hold accountability for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I find that holding others accountable holds me accountable. Because if I'm asking, especially even in a position with coaching, when I'm asking agents like, hey, did you time block, did you do A, B, C, and D? I have to make sure that I'm doing the same thing. So that way, when I look at them, stop with me and like I've shown you my calendar, when I'm showing my calendar, I want to make sure that it's actually time blocked. And I actually within those time blocks and have our meetings on our calendar and schedule it like that.
Whatever, like, that you can.
Time blocking?
Yeah.
We can teach it, yeah, not in today's session, but that is something that we can definitely go over, like, many had a class, last year. He did a class of that, and so did it last year, he did a class of time blocking and whatnot, like that.
We do that on our commands.
You can do it in, Google Suite, yeah, so the Google Calendar, you can do your time blocking and have a whole calendar, color coordinate mine, and have all the times allocated, so that way it tells me exactly how much time I spend on appointments, business production activities, recruiting appointments, coaching conversations, all that fun stuff. So, the agenda for today. We are going to apply the 6 core competencies of a business. We're going to recognize your role as a fiduciary for clients, and we're also going to review the success system. And we'll also have facilitated time where we'll actually go through the success system today. So we will be lead generating sales. There, who did that? Who was that? Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. So to start thinking about what you will learn today, let's consider what questions you might have and would like to learn more about. So find a partner. Already, you guys are actually
Two.
Yeah. Perfect. Yes, I love this. Okay, cool. So here you partner. And have a 5-minute conversation about your question and what you'd like to learn more about. Jot your notes down in your participation guide. Does everybody have a participation guide, or is it all virtual? Cool.
Are there physical versions?
Yeah.
but it's like Turner.
For like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pages.
I called my local shop and printed, they're like, it's $200. I'm like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I saw her and she was like, you don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of pages
We
to
find
print,
a lot.
to print it. What I did, I used it to print and then I have a pencil, and I was writing, or just have a notebook. I went to what we did and did, so I got like dollars. I'm cheap. So yeah, so think about 5 minutes, just kind of go over, expectations for today's lesson. It's about embrace your job, what you're expecting to learn, what you hope to learn, and you can also add in there what you hope to learn throughout all of the night. And some areas you'd like to focus on. And then we'll pick a couple groups to share and we'll go from there. Cool. All right. Chat amongst yourselves. I'm gonna put on some background music.
What I wanna say.
You said you do or you don't?
No, I really know.
Yeah, we do.
Good, yeah. That's fine. Okay. Alright. Hold on one So we're talking this will kind of like the same. Based on I don't know. When you come like, you're in on it. Yeah. No, I got 200. So. So it's 2 weeks. Right.
My God. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. We're like. Yeah.
Come back together. So who wants to share a couple things that they're expecting, that they're looking forward to learning, you want to kind of go over it? Yes.
Absolutely lead generating.
Lead generating?
Yeah, lead generating.
What specifically on different activities?
Yeah, just think different activities, how to kind of like get out there more and, about doing the basic, planning friends. People that like how to reach other people that I don't know.
Absolutely.
Get them to trust.
Yes,
Yeah, because you gotta build relationships with people
yes.
in order for them to trust you. Because when I went door knocking, usually everybody that I door knocked, they were like, oh, it's okay, I already have a realtor. Or it's okay, my friend is a realtor and I really trust her. Yeah, they're like, I trust her, so no, it's okay. So I got that a lot when I went door knocking. Yeah, I already have a realtor and I trust her, or I trust him. Or they've been with the family for years. So I'm like, see, that's where we need to get to people to trust and build relationships.
Absolutely, absolutely. Who else wants to share? Yes.
I think for me, it's kind of, you don't know what you don't know. And through this process, I want to understand maybe what some of the basics are that I haven't actually encountered through listening and on training sessions and stuff, that like a lot of the training maybe is something I would aspire to down the road, but I feel like maybe there's some basics that I don't have ingrained yet that is really gonna propel me. And that's what I'm hoping to, as my ahas from this session.
Were you saying?
I was just like reiterating that, that's a really good one, just even. Anybody approaching you as a new agent, you know, where do we start, how do we even, you know, answer their questions, you know, like that's even. Before preliminary to lead generating and anything, just generating the buzz, and I'm a realtor now, hi everyone, and like, what do you say when people start. Bringing questions at you, because that's what's happening for me now, I was talking about that a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
That and contracts to me seem very intimidating, so, yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome. Those are all really, really great topics, and we're gonna go over a lot of that through the session. One thing I do wanna kind of just touch on when, as far as like having those conversations. Everybody was a new agent at some point, so I experienced the exact thing. Many of you guys that know me, you know I'm pretty much like a perfectionist, and I want to make sure everything's like perfect before I do it. And so that was my big paralyzing fear when it came to having these conversations with clients. I was like, please do not ask me how the market is. Like, don't ask me because I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm getting up.
Yeah.
People like
Right. And so what I found was.
I'm like,
So two things with that. So first thing, what I found is it's okay to not know. And you can find the answer, right? So it's okay telling them, you know, that's a great question. Let me do some research and let me get back to you. They will 100% respect you so much more than if you give them a false answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's
Yeah.
just being transparent, you know, hey, let me figure that out for you, because I want to learn this concept. Because education for you, I love educating the potential client, right? So going and finding that answer and then following up. And then secondly, mind the business that pays you. I do not answer finance questions, that is a lender thing. So I make sure I pass the ball. Like, hey, you know what? I have a great lender that I partner with. They'll be able to get all that information. Let me get your number down so I can get you with my lender, right? It's okay to pass the ball. It's okay not to have the answer. You know, we can actually get in trouble for answering specific questions
Yeah.
if we don't have the right information. So I always play it safe, and I'm going to, if you want to know about the house or the market, the contract, whatever it is, I got you. You want to do the financing and knowing payments and just how you can bring your interest, all those different type of programs. That's a great question. Let me get you my lender.
Yeah.
That's a great resource, and I'm going to pass the baton, not to say don't learn the things. Because you definitely want to have a working knowledge of these aspects of the industry, and let the person that went to school for it, passed the exam for it, did
Yeah.
the work.
Stay in your lane.
profession.
Yeah, stay in your lane.
Exactly. Same thing when it comes to home inspections.
Yeah.
You know, don't ever prescribe
Yeah.
and say, oh, well, this is mold, you can go ahead and easily. Just go do that. Don't do that.
You can assume the neighbor.
Get you with the home inspector or the appraiser. You know, somebody that is in that field, so they can answer those
That's
questions.
what I'm going through right now with one of my buyers.
Yeah.
They're asking me so much questions about lending, and I'm like, okay, no, that's for the lender to answer.
Yep, and what
So-
I would do, what I did in the beginning, I would set up the meeting.
Yeah.
With the lender, like, hey, let's actually meet with the lender at this
Yeah.
time, because I want to know,
Mhm.
and I want you to get it directly from the source, so that way I'm not quoting misinformation.
Yeah,
I had a lender get very upset at me in the very beginning for quoting the person, oh, your payment went on the little payment estimate, oh, your payment is about 1,300, and it was like. Don't ever
Yeah.
do that again. And I was like, oh.
yeah,
And, you know,
And there's so many variables, right? And the lenders know how to manipulate and work those numbers to make it work for the client, where we don't have that knowledge, and it's okay, that is not my field, math is not my subject. How did it that? But when it comes to other math, that's not my stuff. So, yeah, so keep all of those things, those questions and things in mind while we're going through this, and see if you guys can get your questions answered throughout the session. All right, awesome. So. There we go. So my next question for you, what part of the real estate industry excites you? What part about being a real estate agent really excites you?
working with people.
Yeah.
It's fun, just working with people. I just finished closing and it was fun. The whole transaction was just, it was exciting.
Yeah.
It was different from other stuff.
No, was this your first transaction?
It's, second,
Second, okay,
yeah, it's
awesome.
yeah.
I remember those days. I remember when it was.
I guess we're new. It's exciting, it's fun.
And don't get me wrong. And you're gonna have those transactions that. They're gonna be everything but fun, and you're gonna have the clients that are gonna be everything but fun, and you're gonna work with other agents that are
Yeah.
everything but fun. So,
I know, yeah.
so yeah, but that's great, it is, it's a really exciting, really rewarding, career to be in, you know, being able to hand over those keys to the first time home buyer, or the young couple with the kid, and it's like their first house, it's like, oh, and that warms my heart, you know? So absolutely, what else excites you guys about being a real estate agent? I think most of you guys are new, right? Yes. So what else excites you? Is anybody excited? Nobody's excited about being an agent, and I just thrown it for everyone.
It's like everything when people love people, the freedom.
Yeah.
You know what was exciting? The negotiation part.
Yeah.
That's it, I know, see,
I like
yeah.
seeing houses.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's true.
I think with both, so with seeing the houses, I got interested in real estate by watching Flipper Flop on the TV. And I was like, oh, I can do that. And then I started like looking at Zillow and looking at houses, like, how do you do this? Like, I just want to go and look at houses. But there's some houses you walk into and like, oh, wow, this is not showing condition. Like, how can you do this? See, no, something else that you had said, you know, you're gonna, lost it on my server.
One of the things that I did talk to Simon
Mhm.
a while back is teaching us how to do a buyer presentation,
Yeah.
a seller's presentation, because that's very important when it comes down to, once you get a buyer or seller, you know, you gotta know how to sit down and talk to them, explain to them a buyer's presentation.
Mhm.
And so I told Simon, we should role play. We should, you know, have a class where all of us that are new, you know, sit down and do a role play on a buyer's presentation, and then seller's presentation maybe the next day.
That's what I wrote down.
Yeah.
Say we get an appointment, step 2 comes in, where you have to present to the buyers.
Yeah,
Do we write a CMA, and if so, how do we write up the CMA?
Gotcha.
yeah.
The CMA would be more so for the listing.
The listing.
Yes, okay,
Mhm.
cool.
New agent do's and don'ts, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And so the thing that I really want to stress in that, there's so much stuff to learn.
Mhm.
Like there will never be a time, like even though I've been doing this for a few years, there's never come, I think I mentioned on the call today. There's never a time that I'm like, okay, cool, I know everything, like I got this, and go ahead and just
There's
do my
something
thing.
you like-
There's always something
Yeah,
more.
and every transaction is different.
Exactly. So don't overwhelm yourself or paralyze yourself with, I have all of these systems in order before I can have a presentation, before I can go meet the buyer, meet with a seller, right?
Yeah.
As far as the role play, if that's something you guys want to do, let me know, we can definitely do something like that. We can set it up to where you like literally come, knock on my office door, and then we go right into the role play, and we treat it like an actual presentation, listing presentation or buyer presentation. So yeah, I'm totally down to do that. We can set some time aside and we're like, well, yes, sir.
When Rachel and I were talking just now, I had brought this up as well, building on what you just said, $25.
$25, you missed it. We talked- So yeah, so we did established this earlier, so what we did in my old office, anytime.
Silence, how do you do that?
So yeah, we established this earlier, so just turning off putting your phone on silent, just to limit the distraction.
Your phone rings, you have to pay lunch for everybody.
Right. So yeah, that's what we think.
So I'm curious if, and I don't know if this is really, I'm wondering if, not knowing the things yet that I feel like I should know, and not knowing how to give a bio presentation, for example, will prevent me from being more actively seeking out, because it's like, and I don't know if this is me or not, but I'm wondering if it is, where would I be less likely to be really initiative for somebody like wanting to set up an appointment if I don't even actually know
What?
like how to give that appointment?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's something very important that we should.
Yeah, well, the answer to that question is yes. it is gonna prevent you from
Yeah.
speaking out and going to try to have that interaction. Like I said, when I started, I was like, please don't ask me any questions, like,
Right.
don't ask me how the market is. I don't wanna do it. I wanted to be an agent, I wanna sell 1,000,000 houses, my goal was 40 for my first year. And I was petrified of having those conversations. What I'm saying is, don't let that stop.
Yeah.
Right, you're always going to feel like there's something more that I need to know, and the only way you're gonna be able to isolate what you need to know is by getting in those situations where it's like, okay, I don't know the answer to this. Right, if you're never being challenged and you're never having these interactions with clients and they're not getting the real life feedback or real life questions, how are you gonna know what to focus on?
The thing that once you get a buyer or a seller, you have to know what to say, what to do. You don't wanna practice with them. You never wanna
Why not?
practice.
But the first few
Like practice?
transactions, that's why you have
Yeah, I mean, that's why you have mentors too, I mean,
But
So
sometimes,
every time you talk to somebody, it's.
I'm saying like when you sit down and you talk to the buyer, because when you do a buyer presentation. I feel that practicing at that moment is not right, that you have to know what to say. and
I agree with
So
that.
yes, and what I will say, so. For example, let's say I give you a buyer presentation right now
Mhm.
and you go through it and you study it, cool. That first time that you're going to meet with an actual client is still going to be a practice session, right? So that's what I want to try to help help the mindset around. It's always going to be a practice. You're always going to be winging it, even though you prepare,
Yeah.
it's still gonna, something could come up, you never know.
Yeah.
So getting out there and having that real life experience, you and I can role play all day, and which like I said, I'm totally down to role play with anybody that wants to. And it's gonna be totally different when you go and talk to your
Yeah.
client, because you're not as comfortable with the client as you are with me. So that's what I'm saying with, when you said everything's good, it's always gonna be practice, yeah.
But every client is different, so it's gonna be a different conversation every time, so just do the basics.
So don't let that stop you from going out there from this position. Yes, have your presentation, yes, know what's in your presentation. Even though I taught it that before, I was still proceeding in there, still going through the manual, like, okay, what am I talking about today? So I know, and still winging it. You know, I got the material this morning. So it's always going to be practice, but don't let that paralyze you from even getting in the game. Right? Did that help kind of answer your question around that? So don't be scared to have those conversations. And the only way that you're gonna get better at it is by doing it. Like literally, the more you talk to clients now, even though I go to a new client, I'm still like, okay, I'm apprehensive. I went and talked to a client a couple months ago. And she was referred to me and I went in because it was a listing presentation. It was one of the highest prices that I sold in Bakersfield. And I was like, okay, here we go. I'm like, commit to myself, like, hey, I got this. I'm gonna go through all these different things, all these different figures. I go in there, she's super chill, didn't really ask me many questions. I'm like, okay, cool, when do I sign? And she's like, oh, but that was it. And I'm like, I didn't get to go through my whole script, my whole presentation, and just completely threw me off. I had another client literally sat me on the couch. I'm like, let's just sit down, let's talk. And I was like, no, I have a script. I have to go through with you. So it's always gonna be different.
Yeah.
We're gonna catch you off guard. But it's just adapting. And the more that you go into it and have those conversations, you'll just be more and more prepared. More. All right. So applying the 6 core competencies of business, we're gonna reconsider your role as a fiduciary for clients. We're gonna review the success system, recap ahas, and then we will actually implement the daily success system. Cool. All right.
That was happening to Frederick again here, I think. How to use them now.
Next day.
There we go. All right. So welcome to your new job, your sales career. You are an independent business person and it is important to understand the components of this job. I want to change the wording of that. You are all CEOs. You're all the CEO of your business. You're not just a business person, so. Fixing that. Fixing that. So essentially you are it. There's an appropriate saying, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. So in your participant guide, you'll see the 6 core competencies of a business listed, which come from the Shift book. Is everyone familiar with the Shift book?
No.
No,
And we're
No.
doing it first.
yes, and so. Oh, there is a shift book, so it came after the MRBA, but the shift talks about the market shift, right? And how to, basically set up your business, so that way the shift doesn't affect your business. Right, so everybody knows we're going through a shifting market, you guys heard that term
Right,
quite a
right,
bit.
right.
So yeah, there's literally a book, on how to navigate that shift.
It's called Shift?
It's called Shift, yep.
Is it a Gary Keller?
It is,
Okay.
it is. So yeah, so definitely highly recommend take a look at that book. We might need to even get some curriculum around that, because it really helps kind of shift your business and get you into a position where, okay, cool, yes, it was a buyer's market, now it's a seller's market and vice versa, right?
Mhm.
So all that fun stuff. So quickly read through the 6 core competencies. Who wants to read them for me?
I will.
Yes, I am.
Number 1, lead generate, capture, and convert to appointments.
Awesome. Who wants to read number 2?
1, present to buyers and sellers and get agreement.
Awesome.
Show buyers and market sellers.
Perfect.
Right, and negotiate contracts.
Love it.
You're gonna show us all of that by the end of the day, right?
We will go through all of this. Yes.
Number 5, coordinate the sale to closing.
Awesome.
Management.
Perfect. So we reviewed the overall path of Ignite, and you can see that we will cover all these competencies. We build on each one as we go. Running a successful business involves engagement in all 6 of these activities. So we're gonna spend some time, we'll go through them. I want to say the whole Ignite goes through each one in more in depth. So the first competency. That again. Awesome. The first competency is your first priority. After all, you have no leads, you have no business. No leads, no business. Do you have business? You don't have no leads?
No.
Not.
Yeah, you guys are a sharp class. So you must have leads to sustain a thriving business, which is what you signed up for. So let's break it down. You will learn and it will be repeated over and over that your number 1 job is lead generation. It's the daily practice of talking to people about buying and selling real estate. Capturing is about obtaining accurate contact information that is name, phone number, email, home address, and any other data and a person is willing to divulge. Capture also means adding new people to your business nowadays, so you can converse with them and provide value. We just learned something about complete contact. Yeah. Another important component of lead generation and capture is that you ask for permission to stay in contact with each person. You'll learn more about the importance of this step as we explore lead generation later in the night. And finally, convert to appointment. Capturing leads is wonderful. However, the ultimate goal is to find active buyers and sellers and set an appointment to meet and agree to work together in the buying or selling of real estate. Remember, we are learning and building on each new skill as we advance through the entire course of Ignite. This is why it's important to attend every session and to complete the courses, which I know everybody is going to do, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. What questions do you guys have about the first competency? No.
The lead generator.
Yeah, you want-
So when you're like not doing an open house and you have them sign in, you have to ask them for permission to contact them and do that.
So that's a great question. So with them signing in, it is implied that you'll have permission. So by them giving you their contact information is implying that yes, I'm giving you permission to send me out. Because I do always make it a best practice to just verbally state it and set that expectation. Whenever I'm getting into business with somebody, I want to set an expectation so that way they know what to expect from me, how I'm going to show up for them. So that way I know how they're going to show up for me. So that the response dictates how they're going to show up for me. Right. So if I'm having a conversation, I'll come back. If I'm having a conversation and I say, yes, I'm going to send you some properties. What are you exactly looking for? 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom, how many bathrooms, area, things like that, or oh, people have blah, 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 this is perfect, so I'm gonna send these to you, if you can, go through and look through them, let me know which properties stand out to you, and then we can set up a show list. Having that in your back pocket, so that way you can have that conversation, set an expectation of what you're gonna do and what you expect them to do in return. Yes, sir.
You're good, never mind.
Good
Yeah,
answer.
yeah, thank you.
Any other questions about person, Pamela, were you gonna ask a question? About lead generation?
Yeah.
Well, you remember later. All right, second one is present to buyers and sellers and get agreements. So that's what I wanted to just kind of touch base on, going back to active buyers and sellers. We know the difference between an active buyer and seller versus just a contact.
Those people are ready,
Yeah,
Willing and able.
ready
Yeah.
to win, and they're looking for it, seeking it out.
that's absolutely it. A lot of times, and as new agents especially, we get caught up in people that say they're wanting to buy or saying they're looking for a property or wanting to sell. And then we get caught spinning our wheels and we're giving them everything, and we're putting our best foot forward, and they're just not responding, they're ghosting us. They're not really texting back, they're not doing the things that we're asking, they're not meeting the expectation that we're setting as far as getting with the lender, getting pre-qualified, responding to your emails and whatnot. Those are not actual buyers and sellers, not in that moment, not that they will never be. And in that moment, they're not ready, willing, or able, right? So working with them and from a distance, I always make sure if you're not willing to get pre-qualified with the lender, that's awesome, love you, we'll stay in contact, and I'm not gonna be begging you, right? You can't operate from a scarcity mindset when it comes to getting new clients. Yes, Skylar, no.
So what do you do if you're like messaging somebody and they just like stop responding, do you just stop texting them? No.
I still definitely keep them in the wheelhouse and in the pipeline, and I tailor my expectations. So when I'm forecasting my business, I'm not gonna count them as okay, this is a buyer, like I know they're gonna buy it, it's like, well, they're not showing you any buying signs, I'm still going to set you up on a drip campaign, give you the information, reach out periodically, have you on my follow-up system, because you still have the database edition, right? So somebody that could potentially do business with me, and I'm not gonna be sending you doing extra CMAs and extra profile and properties and sending you extra showing list and going out and do all the MLS searches, because you're not really looking right now, which is fine, it's totally fine, everybody's not wanting to buy a house at this exact moment, and that is totally fine, it doesn't mean ignore them. And we just tailor our expectations and how we show up for them based on how they're showing up for us, right? Good question.
It kind of falls in the same line where I get the drip campaign, but you know, what happens if maybe like property showed up on my radar and decide, should I send it to that person? I
Yeah,
have the same problem. I have some of them ghosted me, but like every once in a while I'll get something like, oh, maybe. But I'm not sure if I should, you know, I don't put a lot of effort, but I do like, oh, hey, there's this property, you know, let me know what you think. And I still kind of get ghosted, but
yep,
it's not like I'm putting, you know, a lot of effort into it.
absolutely, yeah, no, that's exactly it, I have clients. We literally, I kid you not, we've been looking at properties for 3 years now.
So you're almost there.
And just having that initial buyer's consultation and really understanding their position. They are not in a business, they don't have to sell. They are more than qualified for the price that they're looking in. There's no urgency. So once I realize that, hey, you guys are not looking to move right this moment, cool. Well, I'll send you a property here and there, something pop, they're looking at a specific neighborhood. They only want that neighborhood, nothing else. And it just so happens neighborhood Bakersfield have a very low turnover. So there's not a lot of inventory coming up in that neighborhood. They're still clients, they're still qualified, they still meet the expectation. Whenever I send them a property, they respond whether they like it, yay or nay. If they do like it, cool, they're ready to pull the trigger, and we go through it a few times where we'll pull the trigger, we'll go into the office the next day, get pre-qualified, get the letter, and we'll go out. So it's setting an expectation, right? Yes, you're exactly right, sending them properties here and there, but as far as like, hey, cool, I got this showing list of 10 houses we're gonna go look at, let's go with that, it's like, he's not ready for that right now, that's not necessarily where he's at, right? Cool. Sorry, I got off track there. So yeah, second core competency, present to buyers and sellers and get agreements. This core competency is about your skill during the appointment with the buyer or seller. Presenting to buyers means going through the buyer consultation document, which outlines the entire buying process and all the steps you take to assist the buyer in the process. You will also address any questions or concerns the buyers have at that time. Presenting to the seller is similar. You go through the entire listing presentation document with them, which outlines the entire selling process, including the marketing you'll provide, along with all the steps you take to assist them in the sale of their house. The expected outcome of both of these presentations is that your client, whether buyer or seller, will sign an exclusive agreement to work with you. You'll learn all you need to be able to be successful and present and obtain a signed agreement later in this course. Questions around that?
But I got a form from my mentor about what he kind of asks every buyer, and you can kind of personalize it, I guess, to you.
Yeah.
Something that are out there for everybody, I think.
Absolutely. There's so many different ways to do a buyer or seller's consultation. Some people use a form. I am a little bit more high maintenance in the sense that I do like a whole presentation. But that's just me. I have a lot of anxiety. So I need to make sure all my bases are covered and that I have screens and slides and I have a visual. I'm a very visual person, so I need to be able to see, and I want my clients to be able to see exactly what I offer. Having those images helps for me personally. You may be like, yeah, I just need the paper. Like I'm good on the presentation. Don't need all that. Totally fine. You're the CEO. How do you want your business to run? What would you expect? What are your expectations? Right? Questions, comments?
I'm curious, who asked that?
Oh, my mentor is Chris Lagos.
Yeah.
It just was like a checklist, and actually, since I've been an agent assistant for the past year, I asked her, obviously, I'm always asking her questions too. And she does the same thing, it's kind of like a checklist, she has her own, I've even, edited it for her, but I think that that's really good, like for me, like a jumping off point. And then once, we all are gonna have our own rhythm, we're all gonna have our own, style, and I think we could structure it too, obviously even the buyers, what, depending on who they are.
Absolutely. And even diving into Command has a whole presentation for you. And it has that checklist. Yep. You go into the design library under buyer and then also under seller. Under seller, there's going to be a listing presentation, and under buyer, it's going to be a buyer presentation. And it literally has all the pages. You can go through, you can edit it, you
You
can
put command, and then I'm sorry,
command, designs, and then print.
Okay.
The print material.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep, and there's presentations for all of the different ones you can choose from. And you can go in and it has the template with all the pages, there's instructions on how to use it, how to fill it out. The checklists are in there as well. So yeah, you can make it just graphically. And then if you want, after class later, I can pull up mine and show you guys, and show you exactly where it's at. Oh, cool. Why don't we click it? I don't know, just something about being able to just like, yeah, this is impactful. All right. Third competency, showing buyers and marketing listings for sellers. What do these mean to you? So what does it mean to show a buyer or market a listing for sellers? What does it mean to you? Huh?
Sharing information about the house or the market,
Mhm,
and the knowledge of that market.
absolutely.
Yeah, knowledge on properties.
Yeah, the knowledge of the area.
Yeah.
Keeping the home, don't let it be the first time.
Give them value.
Absolutely. You're all right. Showing buyers is all about understanding the needs of the buyer and selecting houses for them to experience with you, right? Marketing sellers translate to marketing their house in the best possible light and via the most channels to ensure that as many potential buyers as possible see it and are interested in it. And this will be covered in detail by the work. The fourth competency is writing and negotiating contracts. This is a big responsibility and one that many new agents are concerned about and anxious about completing their first contract accurately. Negotiating is another competency that requires practice, calm, and a win-win mindset. Remember, win-win is one of KW's beliefs, win-win or no deal. So I know we talked about,
Say that one more time, Carlos, it requires,
this is a big responsibility and one that many of the agents are concerned about. And anxious and completing their first contract accurately negotiating is another competency that requires practice, calm, and a win-win mindset.
Thank you.
I highly encourage you guys, always go to contracts classes. Every single, anytime you see a contracts class on the calendar, attend. Until you are able to recite that thing backwards and forwards, attend the contract class. Because there's always gonna be something else that stands out to you, or something else that you could know about it, and even just increasing the accuracy of it. My mentor literally sat me in his office and was like, "Hey, write me a buyer's contract." Okay, cool, I wrote it, and he was like, "Hey, write it again, write it again." And right, and I literally did this for 2 hours. He had me writing the contracts over and over until I got it down to I was writing the contract in 3.5 minutes. And that repetition and that practice, knowing where things go and understanding where you're putting things to, after I did that, they're like, cool, now explain to me. Let's go over it. How are you gonna present this to your client? He was strict. Yeah.
That's good though,
He
that's
was very
good, that's how you learn.
That's exactly how you learn.
Yeah, it's a very contract class, like there's big books.
I believe in that. So, yeah, but the repetition, we just need the repetition, doing it over and over, and it gets so mind numbing. And to the point where you're like, I get it, I don't need to do it again, to do it again. And then do it again, and then do it again, right?
I
Yes, ma'am.
thought there was a contract class when.
Oh, it's today at 2:00.
Today at 2.
Was it
with
today?
Simon.
Today is the contract training buyer presentation,
Okay, yeah, that's one I was.
that's today too,
With Simon,
right here.
you have to register.
You do?
Yes.
No, I don't think so, no.
I understand.
Ooh, make it a 5-hour day, why not? And then just also throwing out there, one of the reasons why I think KWRI has it set like this, building it with 4 hours, is to build that habit, right? If we're all affected and looking to become full-time real estate agents, we're gonna be in the office for a minimum 4 hours, right? Doing our lead generation activities. So after you graduate from the Ignite program, you're already in the habit of coming into the office 4 days a week for a full minimum of 4 hours, right? Keep it up. Don't stop because Ignite stop, come in and now implement the things that we've gone over. We'll have the daily success system after today, implement that. If you come into the office and do just that, it's going to change and impact your business. But what we find, and as you guys have seen, we've all been here a little bit to notice, not all the agents come to the office. The agents that are producing, if you go look at the top right report, the one that are on top, well, the ones that are the ones here with the offices. And are consistently showing up, coming in here all the time, top of the list. So that consistency in being here, being present and doing the activities, doing the things, that's how it's gonna get. There, so keep the habit of it this for weeks. So. The fifth competency is about getting the deal all the way to closing, where the buyer gets the new key to their home, or the seller releases the home to the buyers, and you get paid.
I know.
That is it, right? That is why we're all here, we're doing this, we're not doing it for free. So keep in mind that not all deals make it to the close for a variety of reasons. It takes skill, and this is why it's one of your core competencies. So with that being said, don't stress yourself out. These skills you will learn and develop over time and in doing the activities. I couldn't tell you how many transactions I've had almost fall out or also fall out of escrow. I have one, we're actually in escrow now, closing this week.
Yay.
Let's clap when it's. We have been in escrow, this is our. Yes. Well, appraisal and then also re-inspection, because the appraiser called out repairs. So
Okay.
this is our 4th escrow, with the same exact property. I'm representing the seller and it's a probate sale, so it's just been one thing after. another. We listed the house July 27th of last year. Yes.
Okay, 6 months.
No, it
after
has
right now.
it's been just escrow fallout. And so different people, yes, different people. So each time learning, okay, cool, this is what we're gonna do differently in the next escrow, right? And for 4 of them, I'm sorry, 3 of them, the ones that fell out, it was all the buyers backing out. And you can't.
Yeah.
But each time I learned, okay, cool, we're gonna do something a little different this next time. This one, we're gonna contingency. Pay up in the very beginning, it's gonna be quick close.
Yes.
So, so yeah, we're finally getting to close, but I say all that to say, it's going to happen. Do not beat yourself up for it, escrow falling out. Learn from it, take notes, apply it to your next transaction. Keep it pushing. This train has to keep going. Do not beat yourself up over things that fall out or people not getting to the close. As long as you're doing everything in your power. You can get, right? Cool. So the sixth and final competency is about managing your money. You already learned from day 1 that the paycheck you get upon closing is not to be put in your pocket and spent. There will be expenses to pay and the ever-present taxes that must be saved for and paid every quarter. There's a great KWU course for you to take called Profitability, Agent Financial. Most likely it will be offered at the regional or international level. We actually have been talking a lot amongst leadership about having like a financial literacy course. Because finances for agents are different, right? It's not just like a regular paycheck, and not a big, for me, it was a huge mindset shift. I was like, wait, I don't get the whole thing. No, sir. And this is not even talking about like the split that you have to pay, like for the office or whatnot, but saving the money so that way when your dues come out every year or however it goes down here, it's not a shock. And it's not like, oh, let me see what I can do. It's okay, cool, I've been planning for this and saving for it. There we go, then pay the dues, so that way your business isn't interrupted. You never want to be in the middle of an escrow and who didn't pay my month's dues. And I can't do it because I need this clothing, you don't pick that, so now you're stuck. So.
Yesterday was the due date for the.
Yeah, and I missed it.
For the mark.
Yeah, for an honor,
Bernard.
and it's never fun, but.
Last day was the last day.
And
I did
when
work on, like,
you're consistently doing business and you have these habits built, it's not a big hit, right? In the grand scheme of it, what I want to say, I was talking to a new agent, it was like $7.99, I think, for like the year, or something like that. It's, don't get me wrong, that's nothing to sneeze at, and you're consistently having multiple transactions going. It's not a big hit.
Question about the board and the MLS. What do you mean it was the last day yesterday? Okay, you can't pay for the year now?
Yeah, you can pay, but there's like.
There's a
penalty fee for more expenses.
Right, but you're new, so it might be.
I mean,
different
it's
for-
only starting, you
And
know?
I think you've been, so yeah, so when we're talking about the fees, it's the renewal fees.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yes, so out of the new and just first time doing it.
Based on
yes,
the term maybe, right, like the January.
Yes, so it's a little bit different for if you are renewing because you've already been a part of it, or if you're just brand new, just starting for the first time. If you're starting for the first time, you don't get a penalty, but if you're renewing, it's gonna say, late fee.
Yeah.
You didn't have that first time, so it's probably extra.
I just got to know the young lady, I said, and I'll talk to you Monday, and then Monday's coming up, so.
It was a busy Monday.
Yeah, well,
All right, cool, so. Getting into it, mindset matters. There's another essential component of this job, and it's mindset. Your mindset each and every day. We talked about mindset on day 1, and you got the hidden belief system along with the 6 personal perspectives to keep you strong. Who can remember any of the 6 personal perspectives from you? You know what?
From yesterday? We can read.
I mean. So we can read them.
Not for.
So we talked about, let me see. Moving from E to P. Purposeful.
2080.
80/20.
Sorry.
What else are you gonna?
remove limiting beliefs.
Yeah, limiting belief.
Accountability,
Mastery,
Move from E to P.
self-mastery.
Self-mastery. One more,
our,
Any doubt?
like value.
we got that one,
Learn base.
be learning based. Be learning based, move from E to P, be accountable, remove limiting beliefs, 80-20. I was on a roll.
Self-mastery.
Self-mastery, yes, there we go. Is not. Awesome. It's important to keep your mindset programmed to success and continue to believe in yourself. There may be days where you feel less accomplished and you'll need to pull yourself up and keep going. Maintain a mindset focused on being of service. Adopting a mindset and a philosophy of contributing to the lives of other people allows you to be direct and to the point in your interactions with others. With a focus on contribution and being of service, you'll communicate more effectively with customers and win their hearts and minds effortlessly. Energy, enthusiasm, and a deeply rooted belief in doing the best job possible for each and every customer attracts people to you. Take every opportunity to educate the people in your personal, professional, and social life about what you do and how you can help them. These reminders for people in your network can lead to many, many referrals for business. We actually talked about this today on our producer mindset call this morning. We talked about maintaining energy and focus and keeping that enthusiasm up throughout the day. Because I'll be honest, there are days where you are not going to want to come to work. There's going to be days where you are not going to want to generate, talk to people, or even just be here. You know, it just happens, right? So what is going to propel you into being productive, right? If we have goals and we're setting these goals and we have people depending on us, whether it's family members or ourselves, kids, we have to show up, right? The moms in the room know you have to show up. You don't get a sick day for being a mom like that, circle mom, and you don't get to call in. You have to show up and be present, right? So what is going to energize you and keep you pushing forward to show up and to do the things that you have to do to achieve those big goals? So let's discuss some realities about being a real estate agent. And just throwing out there also, just housekeeping thing. If you guys want snacks, please feel free, grab a snack. Don't have to leave them there. I don't mind. Like you can eat during the class. Like I said, we'll still have the break in a noon and around an hour. But feel free, grab snacks if you need it. And water, stay hydrated. Don't want anybody passing out. Not on my watch, doing somebody else's class. Just not mine. Couple questions for you guys to answer, and then we'll go over the answers for our market. So if you guys can, in your participant guide, there are some questions. It says, how long on average does it take to get a buyer or seller to sign a contract for a sale or listing? You guys doing your participant guide?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is one of those. Cause it's like
You're gonna go past that.
initially conversing with them
Yes.
or like, okay.
I think it's just a matter of them feeling comfortable with you.
So that's the question, so how long would it typically take before, so like from initial conversation to getting them, boom, we sign the listing agreement or we sign.
Sometimes it takes a couple months.
So the answer says 1 to 60 days or more, depending on how much time you put into lead generation every day. And how many appointments you go on and obtain signed contracts. Okay, wait a minute.
I feel like it's an interpretive question.
I feel like it is interpretive.
Maybe not.
I feel like the question is different than the answer. Because the question states, how long on average does it take to get a buyer or seller to sign a contract for a sale or listing? But the answer is more reflective of how long it takes for you to get into a contract with a buyer or seller. And how many appointments you go on. So yes, so that is how we interpret it. So how long does it take for you if you're diligently working or doing the activities? It would take you 1 to 60 days, and we say 1 because you could hit gold on your first day of lead gen, right? And cool, I have a contract in, it's my first day, what do? I had an agent in my old office, his second day of real estate being licensed, he attended Bold, he started Bold. And if you guys know anything about Bold, it's like super intense in my off screen. No. I've been on mute this whole time. Oh. Okay. You're good. I don't know anything. Thank you. I looked at the screen and it was muted. I'm like, oh my god, what could be this? Nope, Colin is on top of everything and does everything and manages everything. So I promise, Simon and I show up and we're in front of everything, but Colin, Natalie, Caitlin, and Linda. They do all of it, with everything else. They do all of that.
You're the pretty face, not the fun.
Exactly. I'm 100%, like you said earlier, you're like, oh. And see how my manual printed, see how the screen all up, I don't know, that's coming to up. But yes, so. 1 to 60 days for us to be able to get a buyer or a seller, and that's if we are doing the activity. I cannot stress that enough, you'd be surprised how many agents I meet with that come in, they're like, hey, I've been doing this stuff and I'm not getting any result. I'm like, well, have you been lead generating? Have you been doing A, B, C, and D? And I'm like, well, I do it sometimes, like. Well, that's why you're not getting the result, right? So it's all about that consistency and putting forth that effort. So how long does it take for a transaction to close and for you to get paid? So let's say boom, today, we get into escrow. How long can we expect to get, and this is a regular loan, this is not a cash buyer, regular loan. How soon can we expect to?
30 days, 45 days, 30 to 45 days.
Wait, what question are we on, 2 or 3?
2.
Okay.
One time the same.
Yeah, one drove the
The
same.
sign of contract, yeah, they both are.
Yeah.
the same.
Okay.
In our manual, one's kind of.
Whoa,
Alright.
okay.
This is not my computer.
I might, I wrestled.
Oh, so it was you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to know who is in the bill too. Okay, so. Question 2 in the manual says, how long does it take for a transaction to close and for you to get paid?
It doesn't say.
Yeah, the 30 days.
No. Not that.
Okay, we'll change that now.
So yeah, so the answer is 30 to 60 days, depending on your market and whether you're working with a buyer or seller, right? So yeah, everything else was right, 30 days, 45 days.
If it's cash, 10, 15 days.
Yeah, just depending on the property also, right? Because if it's probably gonna need some work or depending on the term of the contract. But yeah, typical expectations anywhere between 30 to 60 days, unless you're in a probate sale. In that case, it can take, like we just established, 6 months.
Yeah.
So let me ask you the question, how quickly do you want to get paid, or how long can you go without a payday?
Well, the first question is tomorrow.
Oh, you're closing something tomorrow?
No.
It's not.
You want to get paid. When you You're like, we can close.
Is when how quickly you wanna get paid, how long can you go without a payday?
It's only a couple months, right?
Right? Like, I mean, if we're, inflation is real.
Mhm.
I just paid $9 for eggs.
Oh, yeah.
$11. I went for 11.
But I actually bought. It was just a 12 pack.
Yeah.
But now granted, I was losing by brown eggs.
I got
But
that. And they're expensive.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Ralph's is out too.
Yeah.
This is baker right now. Like I have their chefs and they actually put it on their stories, like you guys, brunch is a lot more expensive. If you guys wanna know why, this is why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no straight,
the price on everything.
Absolutely. So with all that being said, it can't be stressed enough how important it is that you develop your skills in these areas so you can get paid and be successful in that business. There were agents at my last office that literally would have commission checks sitting in their mailbox. And I'm like, why? I would never, I don't care how successful I get, I will never understand that.
Well, because they have the money back in. That's why.
Right?
They don't really care because they're like, I have the money. So
They even pretty much honestly, will go through and clear all your files, just give me one.
Yeah.
Give me one, like, give me all, doesn't even have to be the biggest one, I'll just take one of them, it's fine. But yes, so getting to that point to where it's like, not that you're being neglectful and not, passing the money. And to where it's like, oh, I forgot it's another payday, right? Or imagine getting a commission check clothing, $1.2 million of our average price here.
Yeah.
After everything, let's round down to even 15, run all the way down, I'm not doing real math, we said, I don't like math. 15 grand every week. How does that change your life? How does it change your conversation with your family, right? How you're interacting, how you're showing up, how you're able to show up for
Great done.
birthday parties, like, at that point, everybody's getting a gift, I don't care, I'm talking to you all year, you're getting a gift. Happy for Christmas, right? How does it really change how you feel? And level set, the things that you're now able to do. What do vacations look like at that point? Right, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm on vacation, but I still have 3 closings that are happening. So now spending is not an issue. Granted, we're looking at our means and doing our budget model. And how does that really show up for you? What impact does that have on your kids or on your partner, your spouse, parents, right? Powerful stuff. So lead generate every day, build your database of contacts, communicate with people about real estate daily, commit to go on a lot of appointments, practice conversations to get better every day. So does anybody remember the quote from yesterday? Anyone can do it, not everyone will you?
Yeah.
That's a powerful question right there. It's like, anyone can do it. Real estate is very, very simple. Not easy, but it's very simple. The formula is very simple. Lead generate, make appointments, close the deal. That's it.
No problem.
But not everybody's gonna do it. And just like the going over the 6 competencies, would you commit to these 6 competencies? Who's committed?
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
Carlos, do you mind going over, or can you just say again what you just said? There's like a list of things that you should be doing.
I was like, what's my freestyle?
I would love to write that down.
Yes, yes. So anybody else that wants to write it down? That activity, so
Yeah.
lead generate every day. Build your database of contacts,
Oh, they did, okay.
communicate with people about real estate daily. Commit to going on a lot of appointments.
Hold on, I'm still at build your database of contacts. Let me back up, I'm sorry.
Right?
No problem.
Build your database of contacts.
Communicate with people about real estate daily.
Okay.
Commit to going on a lot of appointments. Practice conversations to get better every day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just want to see how I'm doing on this time, because I have been noticing rambling. All right. And here is another quote from the ship, another book by Gary Keller and his writing team. It's about the importance of the 6 competencies to reaching your highest potential. To achieve your highest potential, these 6 core competencies must be done consistently and done well. It just kind of resonates a little bit, right? And kind of brings it on home. Consistency and building that skill. And the more consistent you are, the better you'll begin to do it, right? You do music, yes. I'm sure when you first started, were you the best of where you are now?
No way.
But that consistency built over time, built that skill, right? So all about consistency, same thing with real estate. Can't expect to go in and be the top producer tomorrow. Right, build that skill and give yourself an grace. All right. Oh, I'm so sad to volunteer to read it. I volunteered. All right, aha. So after covering this section, what are your ahas? Anything that kind of helped resonate or kind of put more perspective on things for you?
I just think the repetition of this is good, like we hear this in a lot of different trainings, but you know, like it's kind of in bits and pieces, but having this all together is. Good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. It is repetitive, but it's things you need to hear kind of over and over just to remind you.
You'd be surprised like how many times I like go over like basic stuff with top producers and I'm like, wow, where'd you come up with that? And I'm like. It's the same thing. It's- Just say it a little bit differently and like inflect your voice a little bit. And it's like, that's something totally new. And it's like, I mean, I just showed you guys some Legion, how many have you heard Legion, right?
Yeah.
Right, and so what does that consist of? What does lead generate? Say a new realtor comes in into the office and they have their phone of contacts, what they do, just call everyone in their contacts. Say, hey, I'm in real estate, that kind of thing. That's lead gen, right?
Just
There you
answer your
go.
own answer.
August 9th. What time? 6. Okay, I'll see you then. What do you want for dinner? Steak and rice? I answer my own question. That's okay.
No, it's perfect, and like I said, it's that repetition to where, you know, you've heard Legion so many times and you guys all know, and within this room, I can guarantee you guys all know the different ways to lead generate. It's just about what works best for you, what do you wanna do, how do you wanna lead generate? I am not a cold caller, not my thing, I just don't enjoy it. Ugh. I don't like
How do you lead generate?
open houses, I was able to isolate my skill set. I am very charismatic and charming. And so open houses work for me. To get in room with people, even though I get all the content, I can host a class and teach something, right?
Okay.
I can give valuable information and be energetic and get the buy-in of the people that I'm talking to by being energetic and charismatic. So work in the room with open houses, doing seminars, that's my thing, building those relationships, reaching out to my spirit, the people that already know, love and trust me. My friends and family, you know, we all know people that know somebody else, that's looking to buy someone the best, right?
I think you-
Building that relationship.
Yeah, no, and I think you have to get out there to know what works for you.
Absolutely.
Like there's cold calling, there's open houses, and then there's door knocking. So you gotta get out there and experience it and see if you like it or not.
Even with that, even digging in a little bit deeper, I'm just gonna pick on Tim because he said it before, he does music. I cannot go into a music
Yeah.
class and rock that class. That is not my thing.
Yeah.
It'll be a very off-key class.
Yeah.
And that's his skill set, right? So that's a room that he can get into, that he can really kind of manage the conversation and own the room in that aspect.
Yeah.
So everybody has their niche that they can really own and rock that area. Do that. Do what you already love to do. There was a lady, and I'm gonna butcher the story, but the premise of it was, and this is from Jason Abrams. A lady, she loved playing tennis. And so she built her business around having different tennis matches. So she would literally reach out to people like, hey, let's go grab a game of tennis at the country club. Fancy. And that's what they would do. And she built her business around that to where she was hosting tournaments as her lead generation source. So she's hosting a tennis tournament. People are coming. She's doing what she loves to do, which is play tennis. And these people are just coming and they're showing up and to play tennis and hang out with her and going on lunch dates, going on shopping. She organized like a shopping group because she loved to shop and set up like this shopping group and they would go and it's networking, right? She's doing what she loves to do and their referrals are coming. They're chatting, obviously they're going to chat about real estate. It's going to come up. Anytime you help somebody, hey, how's business? How's life? How's work? Oh, well, blah, blah, blah. Now here's the referral. Right, so by focusing and isolating what you already love to do.
Yeah.
And just blowing that up, building a system around it, right? Cool.
So.
Yeah.
Another one of those, I'm trying to visualize what it means to a new agent. Committing to go on appointments. Is that? Like, because at the beginning, when you're just kind of announcing that, you know, I'm a new agent, blah, 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 to your friends in your sphere. How do you make that next connection to the appointments?
Exactly like doing that, making that connection. So we're having a conversation. Oh, hey, I love this conversation. Let's go get coffee next week. Are you available? there's an appointment, that's setting the appointment, right? So when
Okay,
it's
so it
saying,
doesn't necessarily have to be the appointment to show buyer's presentation, or it's just the connection. Okay.
yep, it's the connection, so. All of these times you're building contact and when things get leads and whatnot, every single lead you get is not going to turn into a buyer consultation or a listing appointment, right? Not at first, it's all about building that relationship. They're either gonna do one of three things, they're either gonna buy with you, they're going to sell with you, or they're gonna send you their. Or the fourth thing, they might even work for you at one point, right? So it's about building that relationship, right? So,
Getting
yes,
them-
getting them to trust you, but not in like a manipulative way, in like, I love talking to people, I just love to. Exactly, being your charismatic self, having building those relationships, so that way when they do think of somebody, like, oh, hey, my aunt just said she's looking like, oh, wait, I know a person perfect for you. Right?
So one advice that I do wanna give everybody
Yeah.
is, when you get your either seller or buyer, do the fiduciary duty with them, like be loyal, be honest, be on top of things. Because if you do that, then they'll love you for it, like they see that you're doing the fiduciary duties.
Absolutely,
you know,
100%.
And then that's how you get it.
100%. I got what I was saying about earlier, I got the referral, 'cause she was referred to me from another client. Who I completely thought I butchered the transaction, like it was a mess and she was very unhappy, the.
Yeah.
Pest control guys tried to do some shady stuff, so it was a complete mess, and I was like, and. I don't know, she was kind of annoying, like lovely lady,
Yeah.
sweetheart, and she was a little.
Get them, yeah.
Yes, and she sent me a business. And she's like, oh, he's so sweet, he's the best, he has all the questions, I'm like, you like me?
Yeah.
Because I did not. But she, and now we're able to develop that relationship. So yeah, you're absolutely right, and one thing I tell my clients too, like, I will be your gladiator, you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
I will go back and forth with the agent, and I will negotiate your repairs and show up to the inspection and do whatever needs to be done to get you to whatever your goal is, whether it's moving out of state, getting to your grandchildren, getting a bigger house, getting a smaller house, downsizing, whatever
Yeah.
their motivation is. My ultimate goal is to get you that. I don't care what I have to do, I'm going to get you that.
Mhm.
And so making sure that they know that, it just like resonates with them.
Yeah.
You know, were you gonna say something?
I actually just had a question. I had a friend reach out to me about first time home buyer program for him and his wife. And their family's growing. They just recently had a baby and then their last kid was like a year before that. And so I know that they're probably looking for, more space, and he reached out to me again, let me repeat, he reached out to me. And so when he did, I kind of, vaguely went over some, told him that there's so many different programs right now for first time buyers, all the good stuff, everything.
Yeah.
So that was my next question. He's like, I wanna talk to my wife, and I said, okay, great. So the next move is mine. So now what, do I make an appointment with like one of my lender guys? Cause he really wanted to hear about all the programs. So
So yeah,
would
so.
you recommend doing that? Cause I mean, having a sit down with me and him is gonna get his questions answered,
Right, so a couple of things with that. Number one, I have talked to my wife, for my husband, you're going to get that a ton of time. The way that I counter that, which is objection handling, which you can go over when we talk about scripts and whatnot. Is setting that intent, setting that expectation. I would love to have a conversation with you and your wife together. Let's set up a time to meet. Going back to setting the appointment, right?
Okay.
Let's set up a time to meet with my lender, so you can ask him all of his questions, and I'll be able to go through the buying process with you. Is that something that you guys would be interested in doing together?
Mhm.
And they're like, oh yeah, absolutely, that'd be great. So you already eliminate that, I gotta go talk to my wife, because what'll happen is, I gotta go talk to my wife. They're not on a specific time schedule.
Or they talk about it, or whatever.
Either talking out of it, they're talking to the wife, could be tonight, it could be next month, like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I talked to this realtor person, and it's like, and you're sitting here, wait a minute. You ready? You gonna come? So spending that, going asking for that appointment, so being willing to go on multiple appointments, right? So it might be a time where they have to sit with the lender first, and then you meet with them right after, or meet with them the next day, or what have you, but setting that appointment. And a solid lender that's willing to do those things for you. My lender in Bakersfield, was always on the spot. Like, and I told him, like, hey, I'm gonna call you randomly and have a client with me, like, are you good? Like, he's like, absolutely, let's go, let's do it. He can do open houses with me. Highly recommend doing that if any lenders are willing to do open houses with you. 100% have a lender there. I do not recommend doing open houses by yourself. You can, and it's totally fine. And I always like having somebody with me because it's another person to bounce things off of.
It's great, actually.
Yeah.
People are always gonna ask about financing, I
You're
don't know,
always gonna-
and you're like, come over here and talk with my, you know,
And-
expert.
Exactly, and talking about hashtag leverage, right? The lender answering all the finance questions, the lender's also going to follow up with them
And they're,
afterwards.
yeah.
So like, even though I'm in my regular follow-up, now they have the lender also following up like, hey, I set an appointment with such and such. It is such a great feeling for a lender to text you like, hey, I had an appointment with Tim and he's coming in on Monday to process his paperwork and get pre-qualified. It's like, awesome, I'm there, chilling, having dinner, didn't even know you were talking to them. And then now we have a client, we're gonna ask, right? So.
Usually when you go to Brokers Open,
mhm.
they have,
Yeah. Yeah, brokers open, but then also, especially for regular open houses.
Mhm.
And I mean, ultimately, it gets good for agents to see the lenders, but ultimately, I'm not the buyers in here. The lenders, because that's one that needs the answers, right? So, all right, let's see. I'm gonna get in trouble. I was so strict about everybody being on time and being timely and punctual and doing the 4 hours, and here I am on
They're
schedule.
distracting you.
So now that we've introduced the 6 core competencies, you know the essentials of what your job as a real estate agent entails. There are 2 ways that you can serve your clients as a fiduciary or as a, as a functionary or as a fiduciary. So we're going to dive into those. We learned earlier how important it is to maintain a mindset focused on being of service. So let's imagine doing business with a company, for example, a car repair company, that doesn't really care about your needs. They just focus on getting the job done and being paid. They don't build a relationship with you or stay in touch with you during the job or after the job. Now let's imagine doing business with a different car repair company. This one listens to you, anticipates your needs, helps you make decisions, educates you on the entire process, acts like a partner in the process, keeps you updated on the status of the work, and even follows up with you after the job. What's the difference? The first company is acting like a functionary, the second company is acting as your fiduciary. Your role as a respected and successful agent is to be a fiduciary. Did anybody experience that before with different companies?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Customer service, for sure. I've worked in the customer service industry and I have seen it. I worked at Chick-fil-A and also worked at Taco Bell. And they are very different companies. I'll tell you. And just seeing that, you know, one's as a functionary where Chick-fil-A goes above and beyond to make sure everybody's happy and warm and fuzzy and really enjoys being there, right? And it shows through the work and through what they put in everything. And the millionaire real estate agent, Gary Keller explains, a functionary is one who is in a specific task relationship with their clients. They do the job. While a fiduciary is one who not only does the task of the job, they are also in a high trust relationship, going back to what we were talking about earlier, with their clients and feel total responsibility for the company. This is especially important in real estate when people are making their most expensive purchase. Why would a prospective buyer or seller prefer to work with an agent who represents them as a fiduciary versus a functionary? What are your thoughts? Why would a buyer work with a fiduciary or a functionary?
Above and beyond.
More educated,
Trust.
confident,
Yeah.
more involved.
Loyalty.
One of the biggest purchases people make in their lives.
Mhm.
First, they want someone that they can trust and that they know is in their corner.
Yeah, 100%. People do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. If you really build that relationship with them, they will give you business time after time after time. It doesn't matter if you went to this class, that class, you learned this, got your master's in this. If you show me that you do not care about me.
Yeah.
Not enough for me.
I got that with my last client. They complained so much from another realtor that they know, and they all they did was complain about him. and they didn't do their fiduciary duties,
Mhm.
and they weren't happy with him. So, with me, I did my fiduciary duties, I made sure I took care of them, I negotiated for them. I brought down $19,000 from what they were asking for what they, paid, it was a cash transaction. And so with them, they were happy with every step I took. And because in my head, I was like fiduciary duty, like I have to be loyal to my clients, and I have to protect them, I gotta take care of them. And I gotta make them happy. And they were happy, and you know, my client, she was like, I'm very happy with what you did, and I will definitely recommend you, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, it's building that relationship, right? The client that I mentioned earlier, even though she was a nightmare, and she was not the most friendly, I answered all of her questions, I answered all of her phone calls, and went above and beyond to build that relationship to the point where she was sending me a client that I didn't even have to pitch.
Yeah.
A client that was literally ready to sign the contract, didn't negotiate the commission. Amazing. And made it super, super easy, and it was all because doing that, being a fiduciary to my client at the time, set myself up for more business in the future. And there's other people that she refer as well, so, yes, ma'am.
Go back to your statement, she didn't ask to negotiate the commission, do you get that often? Do they ask to negotiate your commission?
Yes, and they just
Go
don't.
on to that.
So there's a couple different ways you can respond to it. There's a couple different approaches based on personality type that you can respond, you have to find words best. I charge 6% in Bakersfield for my commission, and that's I charge 6%. So when they ask me, and I do cover it, I did adopt it into my listing presentation, where it breaks down my 6%, because as you know, when we charge 6%, that gets split in half. Well.
No,
Subjective.
Report or now.
So I'll be honest, I do 3.5 to now. I'm a listing agent. It's over how much money did I get? More money. I'm doing the work to get the client. I'm doing the work to provide the listing, I'm doing the staging, doing the MLS pictures, all those different expenses that I need to be compensated for. So that's why I do 3.5% to myself, the listing agent, and the 2.5% to the buyer's agent. So I explain that very upfront to my client. And I've already built that relationship, that trust relationship, so they trust me. And then as far as overcoming the objection, I let them know, this is the business. This is my job. This is what I do. This is my livelihood. Would you do your current position for less money? Or would you like me to do the same amount of work for less money? Right? And would you do the same? And then they're like, oh, well, no, I wouldn't. Okay, cool. So if you want me to lower my commission, are you willing to accept less work? I don't list houses, I sell houses. There's a difference. So what would you like me to do?
Ooh, that's good.
If you want me to throw your listing or your house on the market, cool, I can do that. That's totally fine. I've established a relationship with them at this point. And we've established a relationship, and I them with my style and my jokes and my charm. So now they're comfortable. So when we're having this conversation, when we're talking about money, it's different, right? And then also I let them know. These agents that are coming in, these business brokers, if they're willing to cut their money, what do you think they're gonna do with yours?
You want me to list your house, you want me to sell it?
You pick. I can list it, give them pictures, I'll take them pictures on my phone, my phone's really good quality. Great pictures on your property, we'll get it on the market and.
So if they ask you, what's the difference between you representing me versus, Zillow or Redfin or one of those?
So I'll be honest with you, I don't get that question, because my listing presentation explains it. It shows you, when I show up on time, actually 2 minutes early, because I have the time to walk up to the door, not slow, when I hit the door, I'm on time. When I show up dressed professionally, when I have my listing packet, not only in the presentation form, but also in a paper form for you to follow along, and it's bound like this in a nice,
Okay, very.
in a professional way. You're not asking what is the difference between Target and Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
You see the difference.
Yeah.
You know, so having that level of confidence when you go into that listening appointment, this is what I bring to the table. Okay, so how much commission do you charge? I charge 6%.
You said for Bakersfield, is that for down here too?
So down here might be a little bit different. I know I've been seeing a lot of people do like 5%.
Okay.
It's all for you.
It's all on you, yeah, commission is all on you.
Yeah.
I never tell them that the commission is negotiable.
Mhm.
No, I know it is. I am not gonna go in there and drop my pan in the beginning. Nope. Oh, I probably just said.
Yeah.
That. All right, that's what I'm doing. But no, I don't go in there telling them that I'm willing to negotiate my commission because this is my business.
Yeah.
You can't go into Jamba Juice and be like, hey, can I get this,
You're sending your value.
you're setting your value and stating the value that you bring, the level of service that you bring. I've had agents before, they had a tiered system. So if she was doing 6% commission, she did this level of service. If it was like high resolution pictures, it was, you know, a little bit more value that she brought, and then she also had a 5%. If you want 5% commission, that's cool. This is the level of service, so it's less pictures, lower quality. And they got to pick and choose, and more often than not, they pick the higher level of service. Right?
Now, do you give a 1 point discount to your family, like not friends, but like how about family? Cause I've heard that with you do a 1.
So
You
if we're
don't want to go too low either.
well, so that's the thing, so if we're selling, then yes, I will give them a discount because they're literally paying that out of pocket.
Yeah.
So I'll give my family like a little bit of
Yeah.
discount. But if we're buying, it's all the same, right? It doesn't come from them.
No, yeah,
Right.
So
no, for the
absolutely.
listing agent.
Yeah, and then I don't know about here, but my last office, it was, then you got 2 personal transactions a year where you didn't have to pay company dollar on it. And so for those, I would charge like a less percentage. Granted, only family I've done was my partner. Yeah, was or our house. And so
Yeah.
the money was going to me anyway. I paid my royalties, I was.
I know Simon doesn't allow you going too, Simon doesn't want you to go too low, maybe 5%, 6%. But not to the point where you're 4%.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look good.
Exactly, and keep in mind, you're still having to pay
Yeah.
the buyer side, right? So if
Yeah.
you take a 3% listing. And you're giving the buyer side 2%, you get 1, or if you're trying to do it, you both are getting 1%. Out of the buyer, they get.
No.
Yeah.
No. And you know what's, you know what's funny on the MLS, when I was looking for houses for my clients, I came across maybe 1 or 2 houses, 1.5 on commission, and I was like.
And I bet you're like,
No.
Yeah.
I was like,
The things that you find, I'm very transparent. I'll show you guys my presentation. But I put in there discount brokers and where the fees actually go. So if you're charging 2%.
Yeah.
And they still have to get their percentage for them or their brokerage, they have to pay the percentage to the buyer's agent. Where do you think they're cutting the cost from?
Yeah.
That's your advertising.
yeah.
So they're doing like phone pictures of. So I'm the only road, don't have to write judgment.
Traditional, you have to come in with.
Do your own staging or you pay stagers for their expense?
So Bakersfield, I would do my own. Here.
Meaning you have your own like arsenal of
No,
like.
no.
Okay.
Life hacks, so like
Okay.
air mattresses, you get air mattresses.
Oh, yeah, let's do
Just, looks just like a bed, so there's little things you do, decluttering, taking off personal items, political items, religious items. Organizing, things like that, I do myself in Vegas, so just because the price point doesn't justify hiring a stager. Whereas out here, depending on the price point of the property.
Yeah.
That's where you would kind of have to gauge what if it would justify or not. And we can get into this later. But they've done, there's some cool things you put into the contract as far as that, the seller paying for the staging. If the property doesn't sell, because ultimately you have to pay that. I don't know, I mean, on Flipper Flop, it's like $3,000. I don't know how much it actually is here, I haven't looked into it, but it's more. So just depending on the price point, and I wouldn't recommend it as a brand new agent, very first transaction.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, I bring it up, you know, home goods.
Absolutely,
But,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's
So
so many-
it all goes back to being a fiduciary, doing what you have to do. If you have to bring in your couch from home because it's bring it out, you know? So whatever it is, I say it jokingly, but whatever you have to do to get the property sold.
You know Tina Troy, right?
Yeah.
She does the staging, she pays for it.
Yeah,
I'd say she makes money too.
right. And like I said, I am not opposed to dating. I am not at all. If the price justifies it, or if your personal
Yeah.
budget and finances justify it.
Correct.
Do it. By all means, go right ahead. It looks amazing.
Oh,
It really helps sell stage houses
Yeah.
sell quicker.
yeah.
It is a fact. I don't know the number, the statistic, but it is a fact. Stage houses sell quicker. But they also have virtual staging options. Now that I know it's a lot cheaper. So there's so many different ways to do it for sure. Okay. You guys just keep getting on. Why would a perspective, oh, we already answered that, because a fiduciary places their client's interest ahead of all others, even their own, what does this mean? We talked about this. We reviewed the differences, being a fiduciary is a big deal, it's an honor, it's more important than ever in today's market to wear this badge of honor proudly. Helping your clients understand their fiduciary role is a big part of what you offer as an agent. Talk about examples, we talked about examples, that we are moving right along. Awesome, because I want to make sure that you guys are different. All right, so we're going to divide into 5 groups. Yep, 5 groups. This counting, and then I got lots of midway. All right, so, one person is going to be the scribe, so he's gonna be the person that writes everything. We're gonna assign the first 5 core competencies to each group. So we want you guys to brainstorm of different ways that you can serve as a fiduciary, for your assigned core competencies. And you may refer to the difference between a fiduciary versus functionary, table in your participant guide if needed. And then each group will brainstorm for 7 minutes, for a minute or 2.
Yeah.
And ask the representative for each group to share their examples aloud. So. Group 1, lead generate, capture and convert to appointments. So anticipate the needs of someone in your sphere who's considering selling their home by following up with, lead generate, capture and convert to appointments. And group 2 is going to be present to buyers and sellers and get agreements. Group 3 is going to be show buyers and market sellers. Group 4 will be write and negotiate contracts, and then group 5 will be coordinate the sale to closing. So I'll give you guys a minute or 2, just brainstorm how you can show up in those aspects in your business, showing up for your clients. So how lead generating, capturing and converting to appointments, what does that look like? What does that conversation look like? Presenting to buyers and sellers to get agreement, what does that conversation look like? Cool. Does anybody have any questions on this?
So group. So this is.
You guys are lead generating, capture and convert to appointments.
Showing buyers.
Yeah, no, you're.
You want to
Release the buyers and.
So.
It's
Just so that they have one thing. They have all
So this guy.
Do the.
It's not.
You said it's-
Anything you want to hear?
Trying to other teachers.
Well, the concept of vision, what do you know? They left.
Page 35 in your workbook has the difference between a functionary and a fiduciary. So that way you guys can kind of see the difference, like all listed.
35, oh, I don't.
Okay.
You know, like, oh, yeah, I'm on it.
Be able to like interpret.
Showing.
My daughter's teacher was in the 11th class, and I was, what do you mean that person?
Right?
She was going to.
I'm ready, like, listen to the read that are in that would be like.
So that's what we put on. I covered a lot of.
Whatever.
Let's bring it on back. Alrighty, team. So let's go in order. You guys tell me some examples, come up with how to serve as a fiduciary in each one of these core competencies. Feel free to write these examples down so that way you guys have it for all of the ones. Alright, so group one.
So with lead generation, doing it from a fiduciary standpoint versus a functionary standpoint, not just lead generating, but lead generating with, like with purpose and actually like offering, help to people that might have questions or whatever, you know, not just like, hey, I'm a realtor, this is what I'm doing, and blah, 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 if you know anybody, blah, blah, like that's lead generation, you know, but it's not from a fiduciary perspective, basically, you know, you're not actually, whatever.
So
Yeah,
coming from contribution.
right, that's a better word.
100%.
I wrote purposeful, but I like contribution, yes.
Yeah, coming from contribution. Alright, group two. Buyers and sellers and get agreement.
Being confident, showing up with, you know, a detailed CMA, like with the binder you said. Giving better ideas, suggestions to sell. Educate instead of tell them what to do. Just building a good relationship and anticipating needs.
I love that. Educate instead of tell. When you're educating somebody, you're going to get their trust so much quicker than just do because I said so.
Right.
This is how you sell out. You know, let me tell you why this Ohio house is. Right. Exactly. Group three, show buyers and market sellers.
Like always just be prepared. She had the idea of like putting out like the MLS information there. Answer all their questions when they're like looking at a property, follow up with your clients, and then for like sellers, just like helping like. With like the cleaning and maintenance, offering staging, and then just marketing their home in like the best way possible.
Absolutely. I even take it a step further, had a client was looking at a property, the guy worked in solar, my client worked in solar. I knew the house had solar panels, so what's he gonna ask me about? The solar, do I know anything about solar?
Yeah.
So I went on and I did the research and found out the information about the lease terms, found out the wattage, all of that stuff. And so when I showed up, this is literally me in the car on the way to the showing. And I was very knowledgeable about the solar and he was so impressed. And I'm like, top level, like, if I learned all that, literally about 15 minutes driving. But that's being a fiduciary to your client, right? Knowing, anticipating their needs, knowing what they're looking for, especially when you're doing showing. There should never be a time that you go to a showing and you don't know the reason is. You know the minimum, you know the bedroom count, bathroom count, square footage, age of the house, all the stuff on the MLS. Anything been replaced recently, AC, new floors, new paint, all of those different things, and then also taking it a step further, knowing the materials, knowing the texture. You see $1 million listing, they're like going through, they were talking about something, what was it? It was $1 million listing in LA. And they were talking about this lady who did a garage, very good, we're in Orange County, I'm trying to get off track again. But they did a garage in Venetian plaster. I don't even know what the heck Venetian plaster was. I'm just like,
Very nice.
it's very expensive. But knowing the different textures, right? Like the
Yeah.
material, what's the- is it marble, is it quartz, is it granite? What type of tiles, what types of plaster, all those different things. So you get down more knowledgeable, you're the expert. The pool, what type of plaster at the pool, what's its surface say? What are the procedures for?
Because there's an infinity pool as well, so you gotta know what an infinity.
Different types, the proper names for specific rooms.
Mhm.
Butler's pantry, we don't call them master bedroom or primary bedroom, stuff like
You gotta
that.
know your
You need to
knowledge,
know
yeah.
of what these things are called, so when you're showing the property, it's more of an educated showing as opposed to, what, let's put it together. You're all like. The house at least 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
True. Get your layout, where are you gonna walk? Right, that way.
Because sometimes even super doesn't wanna work on you unless you update it, so, you know, you wanna be there on time way before they can.
Before they get there.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
When they get there, you wanna make sure everything's open.
Lights are on,
Lights are
they're
on.
open, you already have your specific highlight of the property.
And another thing I wanna share with everybody, just in case you guys go through this, when I was going through with my clients, she was okay with getting the 55 and older community thing, and he wasn't. So my client, he was like, nope, I do not, he was so strict with that, he was like, nope, I do not want the 55 community, do not give me that, because, you know, they're very strict, you have HOAs. And then she was like, no, but it's okay, like, I don't mind it, it's nice because it's quiet. So so I went with what he was saying. He said, no, do not give me HOA, do not give me, I don't want to pay HOAs. Don't give me a community with 55 and older. I don't want to do it. So I went with what he said, because he was like, no.
Yeah,
So I had to look first. You have to like be very, very careful what you're looking for
absolutely.
and what you're sending them, because in the beginning, I was sending him the community one. He's like, I didn't tell you no community. I'm like, I didn't see that. So then after that, I was very focused on community, no community.
Absolutely. I'm glad that one worked out for you that way.
Yeah.
And it's not always gonna work out like that. It's not, your husband's not always gonna be insurance.
Yeah.
Really hard to, you know, have those conversations. Like, okay, who am I listening to?
Yeah.
Before we leave this console, I need to know exactly, am I sitting probably with HOA or am I not? You know?
Yeah.
Also knowing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you put the mom dad, if you're not gonna want to do. You don't get it.
It's tricky, but I can do that, because like a lot of that happens probably with a lot of husband and wife, right?
Oh, yeah.
More than we people. think.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm very candid with my clients, and I tell them like, okay, let's meet in the middle, let's figure out something. Are you good with the HOA if it goes up to this point? If you have an HOA, does it have to cover A, B, C, and D? What about the HOA do you absolutely love and you have to have? Is it gated? Is it being secluded area? Do you need a pool close by? What are the things? So isolating the real root of it and getting to a compromise. That's literally our job as a fiduciary, is compromising and figuring out exactly what they want. Yes.
I was speaking more to the fact that one may be on title and one might not be, that's what I meant, like, that's tricky, like, you're like, kind of, the primary is the one that is,
Right.
you know? You
Absolutely.
can't just discard or disregard, you know, what the other one is saying.
100%, 100%. I just always take my direction
But the
from
way,
the person on.
correct, that's what I mean.
So I let them filter out. They
Yeah.
can figure it out.
We're going to figure it out.
What do you want me to do? Cool. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Because that's what we didn't take, right? Okay, cool. And then group 4.
Understanding the contract. This is the contract base. Be able to complement, describe the terms of the contract. on behalf of the seller, look for, I called it agent failures in writing the contract to make sure that you're best representing. That's, look for the agent failures in the buyer offer so that you can make sure that you're not sticking your client into unexpectedly having to deal with something that, I mean, that's what our jobs are, is to know the contract and make sure that it's as clean as possible for your buyer.
100%.
For the seller, for the buyer, you want to be able to guide them through the contract and speak to all of the details that they need to include in their offer letter or offer contract, and advise them on anything in the process that they're not aware of. And then, of course, as that goes on, negotiate and win-win.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're 100% right. One thing I do want to highlight, it wouldn't necessarily always be a buyer failure. Now, don't get me wrong. Some agents do just throw together those contracts and send them over when you're representing the seller, and they won't all be completely filled out. So those are errors. And sometimes different agents will try to sneak things in there. I just had to go back and have an agent that put in their termite clearance. And you know, if you put in like a termite report or termite clearance on the actual RPA, the lender will require it to be cleared. So even if, you know, you guys agree and you're like, oh, well, you know, if there's no termite damage, the lender will require, hey, we need an actual clear termite to be able to close the loan because it's on the contract. So we had to go back, and because we came to different terms and agreed, we had to go back and have them do an amendment to the actual contract to get that taken off. So yes, being very aware of that. Yes, ma'am.
So how do we know that? If we're new agents, how do we know that it can? I'm sure our mentors explain that to us, sure.
Yes.
We should be have our mentor before with any contract, we're going to.
100%. I will absolutely adhere to whatever Fred is telling you guys as far as when it comes to contract writing and the mentor responsibility. To my knowledge, when you are in escrow, everything goes through the mentor. The mentor sees every contract that you fill out, that gets sent over. They're looking over and reviewing and running that transaction with you. So there should never be a time that anything goes out. I would even take it a step further, and then really as a PC student, really take responsibility for your education in the sense of like, hey, I just got this contract. I don't know what it means. I need to schedule a meeting with my mentor or with Simon or with Carlos. Like let's sit down and make sure that I fully understand that if your mentor is not available, I'm here. Simon's here. You know, so definitely make sure that you are fully comfortable and understand that contract and know all the different things that they have put in there. And that's already built into the contract before moving forward, right?
So
just
maybe you should give us a class that your mentor gave you and say, do it again, do it again.
So, okay, so I've actually been chatting with Holly, the team leader at Long Beach, about doing the class here. Well, replicating the class that she already does. What she does, it's a.
Did you like the first time buyer thing? It was a first time buyer, or sorry, new agent checklist thing. Was that her? I saw one that was in this office and it looked like I really wanted to be there.
Maybe, but she did, she does a, she'll give you a scenario, so it'll give you all the information that you need. And then it's like time, so you have 15 minutes to write a complete offer. And from start to finish, like literally by hand. And it's a context for bragging, right? So that helps with like the repetition, like going through the contract, and then afterwards you review and go over all the terms, and so like toss in different like tricks in there or like different scenarios for you guys. But yes, that's something that I do want to get started doing here for sure. So yeah, on the right. All right, cool. And then group 5. And then I'm going to speed through the rest of this stuff so that we can get you guys on break.
We had to coordinate the sale to closing. So lining up the important things like home inspection, funding, making sure your clients are funded if they're a buyer or what's up, so it doesn't matter. Setting up an escrow appointment to clients, pre-qualifying buyers. What's going on here?
Absolutely, absolutely. Going above and beyond, making sure that all those things are set. Having a timeline, I have an escrow timeline that like I adhere to. So, a way that you can do it, you can go in and put it on your calendar, reminders of important dates. For day 17, I know that the contingency needs to be removed. Day 3, I know that, the EMD needs to be into escrow. So that way you're already ahead of the game. If there's specific timeframes that change per the contract, and they put a 10-day inspection period on there, cool. And that needs to go into my timeline, so that way I know, hey, it's day 10, you guys should be releasing the inspection contingency today, or you know, at least have a repair request, right? So having those things and being knowledgeable, having that foresight to know to look for those things and ask for, so yeah, exactly right. Cool. So manage the money. So due to the complexity of the 6 core competencies, I have a knee note. So let's talk about how you can serve as a fiduciary for the 6th core competency of a business, manage the money. Managing your money means being responsible on how to handle your finances. Would you trust someone with such a high dollar purchase if they can't manage their own finances? Of course not. So, in addition to giving you validity, managing your own money leads to financial security. Financial security provides you the freedom to be discerning about which real estate transactions you become involved in or not. So I know as a new agent, the idea of telling a client, no, I'm not gonna work with you is very scary, especially when you haven't completed a transaction yet. And it is totally okay. I have fired a client before. No, we were not aligning. This is not gonna work. Yeah, right? Totally okay. And it goes back to what I said before about not operating from a scarcity mindset, right? If we're doing the activities and we're constantly bringing in new business and new leads, more leads will come.
Yeah.
More money will come. We do not have to be subjected to whatever the crazy people are doing, right? Whether it is morally not aligning, whether they are not being respectful of your time or your business standards. It's okay now, I wouldn't say go fire by willy-nilly, you know, just because, like, you had a tone in that text message, you're done. Obviously, they come with a job that we have to take some type of, you know, pushback, because this is a very stressful time.
Yeah.
Imagine having hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions of dollars locked up in a transaction. You can't use your credit cards, you can't, go do any big purchases. It's stressful and you don't know exactly what's going on. You're not in control of the situation or these large sums of money. You're gonna be stressed. It comes with the territory,
Yeah.
right? Especially with your first purchase, the client's first purchase. They're going to be stressed. They're going to be very emotional. They're going to ask tons of questions. They're going to be temperamental. So we have to be understanding of that, right?
Right.
And wearing your lace country bag. You're not gonna bully me or just, you know, just because I'm gonna work with you, I got your back, I'm gonna help you, and you're not gonna yell and cuss at me.
Yeah.
Not gonna do that, right? And then also people that pretend to be clients, they say, oh yeah, I'm looking to buy, and then you show them 30 houses and then they end up ghosting you. Not that that's happened to me or anything, but you know. Let's see, but yeah, that's all I would say, when you're, like it says in here, when you're doing the activities, it's okay to be able to discern the transactions you want to get involved in and not, right? There may be times that you choose to decline a deal because it doesn't allow you to remain in high integrity with yourself or your client. Recall yesterday, we introduced the KW belief system, the Y for CPTs. This is your guidepost for knowing how to serve as fiduciary for your clients. So how are you living the Y for CPTs? Does anybody know what those are? Yes, perfect. While serving as fiduciary for your clients, how can you being a fiduciary take you from being a good agent to a great agent? So literally, like I said, and I just chug all that water. Embodying, right? Win-win or no deal, integrity, doing the right thing. Customers always come first. Trust starts with honesty, seeking communication, seeking first to understand. So putting those into your actual business practices, right? That's how you show up for your clients. Literally, KW will lay it all out for you. Do these things, you're good. Not literally good. Cool, we want to step down. Ahas, any ahas for this portion? Lots of ahas? Good, 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 good. Thank you guys for sharing. All right, so next, in this section, you'll be introduced to the daily success system, which is part of your daily Ignite course. The success system gets you in the habit of lead generation while in the company of your fellow Ignite participants, your facilitator. Me. And others in your market center who will support and help you in your journey. So before I go over that, I'm gonna give you guys 10 minutes. Stretch your legs, use the bathroom, do your thing, and then we'll come back and then we'll go over what the daily success system is and all that kind of stuff. Now, hey, I know this is not a script that I rolled out to the other instructors. So just make sure you guys are back on time. Do not make me look bad. 10 minutes, so 12.
Okay.
Grab that.
Like, I'll just.
We have a festival, we need more than two stalls, we need more than 10 minutes. We wait turn.
Oh, sure.
Well, you're gonna go down there. It goes down, I never been upstairs, you know?
Going back here.
Don't know what's going. To. Where's the house? John.
Is this, on behalf of the buyer or
Seller,
seller?
I'm just trying to like. Price it. Right.
Right. And is this your first,
First one.
oh, it's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yes. Well,
So what's healthy?
That's what I said. I brought a little protein pack, but.
Switch. No, it's just. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier about really taking ownership. It's their career. So this is to the and those and buildings. This is my so writing together. As well, I was to it's there. Please go. Moved in the. Everything close. And that's what I'm noticing, but then it's. But yes, taking ownership of your career and if somebody, if you need somebody else, let us know. Oh, we rely on that. Yes, that's okay. So. I don't know what that person will need. So, and then we can have an off the record chat conversation and. No judgment. Alrighty, folks, where's everybody at? Don't embarrass me.
In line.
In line for the bathroom still?
Bathroom.
Really?
And I haven't gone yet. I'm sorry, Carla. Why are women here?
I know, I didn't know.
Well, the most important people are here.
Oh, yeah, there's a.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you guys look up there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me,
It is larger.
I'll show you our offices up there,
Okay.
because that's not all that, the other one, but I'll show you ours up there.
Lady. How's it going?
So anyway, I'm from Dawson. And Chris was there on call today and going to the office and then we would come in and see him home. You know what? No one's there.
Hey, so you leaving right at 2:00?
My mom got a daughter, she was nothing about her.
Oh. Good.
He was so sad when I was. If I can't really get out of there, she's pretty bad.
You're leaving me in this baby, little baby.
I'm good, thank you, how is yourself? You're not walking up, I don't know, another month in when I came in. It was crazy.
It's really.
It's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, still in line. How did I know? Yeah, I was there before, it is.
You know, and I'm not from my need to do online. Right? But it's that, I don't know, if we're talking about it, you know about it. Come on.
See, this is why we can't have nice things.
I did.
Oh, so.
That's my good day. I'm gonna have to leave.
She's trying to go about it. So yes,
Line.
I was informed that the women's restroom is full. Sorry, these are things I did not know. After that, usually when the bathroom is full, and it's full for like a minute and a half, but then it's all good, so my bad, ladies. There is an upstairs restroom, though. In case anyone needs to use the restroom, you can always go upstairs. I think that one is a little bit larger also. It's a lot larger, yeah, so more space up there, so just for future reference, and I've been telling the instructors that I see them, for now, we'll be implementing a 10-minute break, for every session for you guys, so. We hear you. Listen. Gotcha. Cool, so let's dive back in. All right, let me see. You've already learned that your first core competency is lead generation. Without leads, your business cannot sustain itself. In the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, Gary Keller states, what you have to embrace is the fact that it is the number of qualified leads you have that will either grow your business, keep your business, or put you out of business. Nothing else about your business will have as big of an impact on it as the number of leads you have. Why do you think cultivating leads is so essential to the success of your business?
Where business comes from.
It is your
Their
business.
bread and butter.
Yeah, it is your business. As we stated in the beginning, you have no leads, you have no business, right? So really emphasizing that time and really setting that time aside to cultivate leads and to lead generate is how you're going to sustain. So when you see the agents that are consistently getting those referral checks, I'm sorry, not referral checks, those two, and also those commission checks, as I could say. It's because that's sustained lead generation, whether it's from their SOI, doing open houses, employing any other types of lead generation strategies, that's what it comes from, right? So being consistent about it. Thank you guys also for being really awesome and participating and for being back on plan. That was after thing. So I definitely appreciate it. It makes my job so much easier when you guys interact and talking and asking questions, even though I know I joke about getting off track. I truly appreciate the engagement. So thank you guys for doing that. There's been times I've taught Ignite and it literally is just silent.
Oh, no.
Like, and it was when I was the PC coach at my old office, and I'm like, but I know you personally, like, why are you not speaking? Like, talk. And then it's gonna just like. So yeah, definitely, me and all the other instructors definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
So. Although lead generation and lead follow-up are the most important priorities you have when running and growing a thriving business, sometimes they may feel uncomfortable to do, yeah? Especially as a new agent. Feeling at ease when talking to people you know and don't know about how you can help them with their real estate needs is a skill that takes time to develop. One of the best ways to feel more comfortable communicating with potential leads is by role-playing and practicing the most common conversations you will have with your clients, potential clients, and other agents involved in a real estate transaction. It is also imperative to have an accountability system in place to support your consistency in lead generation and lead follow-up. How many of you knew that you can script practice conversation with agents? Yeah, and for me, that was an aha in the beginning, because I always thought script practicing is for clients and how I talk to my clients, and I was like, oh. It wasn't until I got my first live negotiation call that I was like, I don't have any script. I don't know this, and I was completely out negotiated, not because they were right, but because I just didn't know what to say. And so that's when I was like, I need to figure out how to talk to agents and have these conversations. And so that's how I learned to do that. So that's definitely script practicing agent to agent conversation. When we talk about the negotiation portion was fun. It definitely is even more fun when you win the negotiation.
Exactly.
It's fun. Like, yeah, there's been some agents where like they were trying to out negotiate me, and I was like, no. It just so happened I was in front of my my real estate school instructor at the time, and I was already graduated, and I was doing, I think it was something that I was doing for her, and we had to meet up, and I had an agent call me trying to negotiate, and she was on the seller side. So I was a buyer agent, brand new buyer, and I don't know who I thought I was, but I was on the phone, and she was trying to tell me that the sellers are kind of butt on their terms, and I was like, well, if you would like to list the house for another 77 days, you to be on the market, by all means, go right ahead. If not, I expect our offer back by 5 p.m. today. And I got that offer back by 5 p.m. that day.
Sometimes you're gonna find agents that they're gonna bully.
Absolutely, especially with you guys being new. You're going to see them try to undermine, the things that you know. So hold fast to the knowledge that we give you and that we tell you about the industry, about how timeframes and things work. They're going to try to out negotiate you by, well, I've been in the business for X amount of time. Wait, that doesn't mean you've been doing it.
Yeah.
It's totally fine, you've been in the business for X amount of years. Doesn't mean that you know everything, like you've been doing it right?
That's why it's important to know your contract, that way they can bully. No.
My go-to is always, well, what does the contract say? Like, okay, cool, you want this released, what does the contract say? Does the contract say it needs to be released by this time? And when I say contract, it's not just the RPA, it's all of the addendums, amendments, and disclosure, everything that goes along with it, right? What does that say? Cool, you want this done now and you want it sent over, cool, what does the contract say? Oh, I have 17 days? Cool, see you on day 17.
Yeah, the agent I was working with, she She kept telling, she well, not kept telling me, but she told me at one conversation we were having, she said, well, do you wanna raise your price of 6,000 so they can accept your offer? And I said, no, my offer is final. I'm not gonna raise $6,000. My offer is final, take it or leave it. If not, we'll walk. Well, I'll go look, there's plenty of houses.
Absolutely.
And she took it. Then he said, okay,
I did it on the reverse side where they were asking my seller for a credit and, my seller was fine paying the credit, but I was like, well, no, we're gonna raise the price. So you want a $10,000 credit, cool, you're gonna absorb that credit. And now the price instead of being, you know, like $295, they raise it to $305 and then we'll give you guys a $10,000 credit. So that was my seller still netting the same amount and then we'll go. So making it a win-win.
yeah.
Cool, so. Boom, accountability, accountable people achieve results others can only dream of. So in the first session of Ignite, we introduced the 6 personal perspectives. So let's elaborate on the 6 personal perspectives. Be accountable. So this quote from Gary Keller, Gary Keller's book, The One Thing. What are your ahas today from this quote? Accountable people achieve results others can only dream. Aha. Or what are your thoughts around? Yes, sir.
Accountability people get paid.
That's it right there. Accountable people get paid, whether you are accountable to your own personal bank account, where you have to get a certain amount of money to pay bills, accountable to spouses, loved ones, like, hey, we need these things taken care of. Kids need new shoes, they're going to school, new clothes, whatever it is. Accountable to yourself, with your goals. Accountable people get paid. Love that. So accountability is a crucial part of achieving your goals. When you report to someone else on your progress to your goals, you gain more focus and motivation. Think of accountability as a process. It is difficult to maintain drive over the long term, but when you must defend your activities to an objective observer, it becomes easier to stay focused. Accountability is about getting and implementing feedback. You must take time on a regular, planned basis. I'll do that again. You must take time on a regular, planned basis to meet with whoever is holding you accountable, to look at your numbers and to refocus your efforts. So all of you, I believe, have a mentor. Yes. So does anybody not have a mentor? Not yet. Are you in the PC program?
Not yet.
Not yet. We will work on getting you in the PC program, getting you a mentor. But yeah, so those of you that have mentors, that should be your accountability partner, right? So when you're going over your numbers, when you're meeting with your mentor, everybody meets with their mentor once a week, right? I think, or supposed to be with their mentor once a week. We'll be meeting with their mentor once a week, whether it's in person, on the phone, 15 minutes, whatever it is. Or even if it's Fred, you know, reaching out to Fred, your productivity coach, he's everybody's mentor, right? But having somebody in your life that holds you accountable to your numbers. What are you supposed to hit? What are you supposed to achieve? I made a mistake of having my best friend be my accountability partner. She's very like regimented and like on top of everything. And I was like, hey, before we talk on the phone, you need to ask me what my numbers were. And I called her one day thinking she wasn't gonna do it. And she was like, what are your numbers? And I was like, well, I haven't made any calls yet. She's like, what? Great, because that was my main distraction, was not that she's a distraction, but I would sit and talk to her on the phone for hours and not get any work done. We'll call it when your numbers are done, like, and it was all because I made her my accountability partner.
Yeah.
Don't give people too much power. But yeah, it's always great having somebody hold you accountable, right? Like your spouse and your partners are good, if they'll actually hold you accountable, but somebody that is going to make you uncomfortable. You know, we don't want it to be super comfortable. So she was great in listening to holding me accountable to my number, but when it comes to role playing and script practice, honestly, I recommend the people that are in here are already showing their commitment and their dedication. Everybody in here wants to get better and wants to learn. So I would recommend finding an accountability partner in the room that you guys can just do a quick call before you do your Legion, do a quick 15-20 minute call. You know, like, hey, let's role play really quickly. I'm gonna use this new script. Let's role play really quickly. Give each other objections. You're meeting in person. Hey, what are your numbers? Hey, did you go on X amount of listening appointments this week or economic buyers consult, whatever the metrics are, but just hold each other accountable. It definitely, it helps so much. We call them accountability buddies. So think about it, we're holding your accountable, right? Cool. Oh, and then, where it said, the reason why I wanted to emphasize on a regular plan basis. Consistency, again, right? Just being committed, having the integrity, doing what you say you're gonna do when you say you're gonna do it. If we say we're meeting on Monday at 2:00, we're meeting on Monday at 2:00. Every Monday at 2, that's what it is. That is the time that we set and have to show up, right? So making sure that it's on your schedule and that you both are accountable to it. No, I'm not booking any other appointments during Monday at 2:00, because that is my accountability time. I recommend doing it before your lead generation, so you can kind of set the intentions, either at the beginning of the week or at the end of the week. Cool. Awesome. Speaking of accountability, you cannot do it alone. For this reason, and Ignite will partner up with another participant to help each other succeed. I should probably read before I describe that. One of the great benefits of having an accountability partner is that it increases your productivity and keeps you on track and in check with your goals. You will provide accountability for your partner, and your partner will provide accountability for you. We suggest that you follow these guidelines that are also listed in your participant guide when you provide and receive accountability. So provide a safe place to share, follow through with action items, listen and pay attention while the other person shares, set a frequency or of checking in with each other, dig deep to find out why you do the things you do, respect each other and the process, create a commitment and stick to it, be open to receiving feedback, give feedback, have each other's best interest in mind. One thing that I really love that my coach, every time she ends our coaching call, we have it every Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. every single Wednesday. I've not missed a Wednesday yet. She asked me, what do I have permission to hold you accountable to? And every time I give her, whatever my goal is for the week. And then when we come back the next week, I know she's gonna ask me about that specific goal. And if I didn't do it, why didn't I do it? Right? Because it's something that I agreed to. I can't tell you, okay, your goal is 20 contacts. I didn't agree to that. You told me that was it. I didn't agree to that, right? So setting those intentions when you're meeting your accountability partner, what's your goal? What can they hold you accountable? What do they have permission to hold you accountable to? So that way next Wednesday, hey, well, you said you were gonna do 150 dials, what happened? It's not like, well, I was hard you to ask me that. I said, no, you told me to hold you accountable. Right? Any questions on that? All right, so earlier you heard everyone introduce themselves. Now.
We did it, yes.
Did we do that yesterday?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, gotcha. This page. And pick somebody to be your accountability partner for this week. It can be the person you're sitting next to or someone across the room you've never met.
This week,
Just
for this week.
Or you can do it throughout all of the night, unless it tells you somewhere in like the next future books to do something different. So what we'll do, let's do that after class. You guys pick an accountability partner to hold you accountable throughout the week. Just because I want to make sure that we are on time with our activity.
We don't meet on Friday because it's, so we.
Right, so your next class, it won't be tomorrow, it will be Thursday. Yes, so still be here tomorrow for like a team meeting and your, actually, I don't think you guys have a productivity meeting tomorrow.
Oh,
They don't have a mentee meeting.
No, it's a mentor meeting tomorrow.
So mentor something.
Still show up at 12 for the.
Let's show at 12 for this.
Yeah.
We can do it via Zoom though, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Cool, so yeah, we'll do that, we'll do that. In your participant guide, you'll see a list of 6 questions. You'll see a list of 6 questions. In the coming days, each time you check in with your accountability partner, you will ask the other these 6 questions to help them assess their progress towards their completion of the success system activities. Questions are, how did you do? How do you feel about that? Did you have any opportunities for improvement? How will you address those opportunities? What were your wins? How will you celebrate your wins? For now, share your current business goals with each other and how accomplishing that goal will impact your lives and what it will mean to you. So. Who wants to share their goals? Yeah,
I'm going to put all these people that I meet out of my cell phone into my actual command. Because they're not active, but they're wanting to be.
cool. When can you have that done by? How many people do you have on your phone?
No, just the my recent contacts, like there's 5 people, there's a hairdresser, there's a designer. There's a nurse. There's 2 more,
Okay.
so. You know,
Are you gonna be at the team meeting tomorrow?
No,
So you'll be here Thursday?
yes.
So you can have all 5 of us in there by Thursday?
You're talking to me like I'm talking to my husband.
So there is running joke where it says never tell a coach your goal because they're gonna hold you accountable.
By Thursday.
There you go. But yeah, that's accountability, right? And thank you for participating. But that's what accountability is, right? Setting a goal and then putting a time frame on it. I always try to say, make them SMART goals, right? So specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and timely. So running your goals through those filters. Cool, I want to do $1 million in volume. I want to do it by Friday. That's not really realistic, right? Like, no business right now, $2 million by Friday. I mean, it was possible. But yeah, so running through those for community setting goals. Awesome, thank you for sharing. Another very important duty of accountability partners is to role play conversations every day. Be certain to set up a time to do this. Some partners agree to call each other every morning at the same time, taking turns as the agent and the potential client. This is a great time to expand your confidence with asking forward questions or for offering value or for following up on social posts. Make good use of this time together. Top agents report they continue to practice conversations daily. It's that important. So yes, highly recommend, once you identify your accountability partner, daily conversation. Even if it's just, like I said, for 15 minutes. Like, let's say you're my accountability partner, right? I'm calling you 8:30 a.m. That's our standing call, 8:30 a.m., whatever time you guys agree on. Calling you, hey, this is Carlos with Keller Williams, going right into my script, right? It's not like, hey, how you doing? Are you ready? Okay, cool. How's your day been so far? Awesome. Let's go ahead and get started. No, we're going straight into our role play, our script practice, right? We're doing that, and then the next day, there's another person. So you would call me. Hey, Carlos, I'm calling for Keller Williams, yada, whatever script you're using. We're doing FISBOs, expires. You have your script in front of you. Go right into it.
If that's a role, sorry.
I was script on Connect.
Have it right here. So yeah, we do have tons of script on Connect. My old office, I should have stole it. I made we have a script catalog on Connect. And it's tons of pages. I might try to connect on to let them print it all. It's literally thousands of pages. But it has scripts of everything. We printed one and had it just like for the office, but it was a script catalog and had seller conversations, regular lead generation conversations, and buyer conversations. And you can literally just like flip through and pick a script for the day. It is all on Connect. If you go on Connect and type in script catalog, KWU script catalog, it should pop up and it has like 3 different volumes. Like volume 1 is like buyers, volume 2 is sellers, and then volume 3 is lead generation. So that way you can have them, I had everybody downloading that before. So yeah, there's scripts. And then with Ignite, we have this, so we'll go through the script for today as well. Perfect. All right, so now we are going to get into the daily success system. There we go. In the first session, we introduced the success system. We provided you with a success system tracker in your participant guide as another method of accountability that we will be using during Ignite. Today, we are going to focus on the first 3 activities. We will discuss the other activities in upcoming sessions of Ignite. Remember, completing these activities is important because they will help you build and nurture relationships with others. This is the reason why we are doing 4-hour Ignite, was to really be able to implement these success systems, right? A lot of times it was, yes, we'll have the class, we'll teach you the curriculum, okay, now go do. However, the change that we're making for the accountability is we're going to actually sit here and do the lead generation together, right? So that way you have me or whatever instructor for that day as a resource. Like, hey, Carlos, I have a question on this script. Hey, I just had this happen on the phone. Can we role play around or can we mastermind around those different issues that you're facing in your business? Also, if you do this for 20 sessions, 10 conversations, that is 200 conversations over the course of Ignite. Are you telling me that not one of those conversations is going to result in a transaction? Right? So this is why we're implementing the extra time in Ignite to really focus on this and to really be a big support system for you guys with doing your lead generation, helping to build that muscle and that skill, getting you comfortable doing those things and having those conversations, right? And what better way to do it than in front of everybody and with a coach in the room, right? Awesome.
I said no pressure.
No pressure, right? Yeah, absolutely. And so that's the thing about it, right? Is that when we put so much pressure on lead generation, like this is daunting to understand. I'm asking a million questions, I'm not gonna know the answer. When this literally just demystifies the whole process. It's like, let's just have the call right now. Let's just do it right now. Why not? Right? So. And if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. How does this apply to the success system we just discussed? Actually, you know what? Let me go back a little bit. Because I want to go through these. I didn't go through them. It didn't have that written on here to do, but I'm gonna do it in my improv. So the success system is measured in a few different categories. So number of conversations. So you're supposed to have 10 conversations what they're expecting. And a conversation is a two-way dialogue, right? So if I'm just sending out email blasts and text messages, that's not a direct, that's not a two-way conversation, right? Still sorry. No, it's the buyer's agent on the back and we're supposed to close this week. See, you guys all applied early. People called me 3 times. Sorry about that. So yes, the data set of 10 conversations, two-way dialogue. You're sending out mass text messages, e-blasts, Facebook messages, that is a one-way until they respond. When they respond, now it's a dialogue, and it's a real estate related dialogue, right? That comes with a conversation. If I'm just calling everybody or sending out text, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Cool, that's conversation, and it's not to be tracked on here, right? Actual real estate conversations. And then number of contacts added to your database. So it says that we should be adding at least 10 contacts per day to our database. So when we're having these conversations with the people in our sphere of influence, do you know anybody else that would benefit from this information that I'm giving? Who can I reach out to? Awesome, boom, going in the database, right? Handwritten notes. When we're doing handwritten notes, I really like to focus on gratitude specifically. So thanking people, anybody that I've gone on a listing appointment with, anybody that I've met with in the office, anybody that's shown up impactful in my business, writing them a handwritten note, taking the time. Thank you so much for your time. It doesn't have to include a Starbucks card or a gift card or anything like that. Literally, the time, taking the time to write a handwritten note and send to somebody is impactful, right? So doing that 10 handwritten notes per day. Social media engagement, 10, 5, 1. So it's 10 likes or reactions, because you can use the little smiley faces and face and all that stuff. So 10 likes or reactions on social media, 5 comments, and then one post or share on your social media. Doing these engagements is going to factor into the algorithm to help with your content being promoted, right? And by promoted, I mean just being at the top of the page, so when people open up Facebook, they're seeing the engagement, right? So, and I recommend when you're doing the 10 comments, don't comment on the same people, or I'm sorry, the 10 likes or reactions. Don't do it on the same people all the time. Otherwise, that is all you're going to see on Facebook. But if you're doing it over the course of a few different people, it's going to pop up on all their feeds. Yes.
I did a little snippet of the open house I did on Saturday,
Mhm.
and I put a little music to it, I was just playing with the reels.
Yeah.
And so yesterday I saw that it said, your page reach increased by 100% in the last 7 days. Compared to the week before, so that was
Absolutely.
interesting to see that.
Yeah, it basically is really cool in the sense that it monitors everything. So when you're doing that, and the more that you do it, now when it increases by another 100%, the gauge is different, right? It's not the same 100 that had already reached out to previously,
Okay.
exactly. Yes, yes.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I gotta get the LA boardhouse.
Oh, gosh, you know. I was like, what did I do? I didn't know.
Now,
You see what I did earlier on Zoom?
gotta pull this out real quick.
For me, enrichment, so we're into the enrichment, so this is anything in addition to what we're already doing here. So, I know we mentioned the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, so if you're reading that book, that would be considered an enrichment. If you're reading the One Thing or the Shift, we talked about Shift as well. So anything that you're doing in addition to help with your business development, right, that's an enrichment. So doing something like that, every single day, and it doesn't, I'm not saying read a book every day, but read a little bit. Right, kind of dig into it. If you have a self-help book, something that just help with you as a person, right, and help quarantine you a little bit. So doing that to enrich the experience. And then the appointments, agreements, and closings are just the metric that we track. Cool.
I want to do that every day or once a day,
Every day. What do you mean?
or sorry, once a week.
Yes, every day.
Same thing.
Yes, every day. Also, really cool, and I have a second, let me show you guys in Command. It's really cool. You can actually track all of this stuff in Command now. And it makes life so much easier because you can even set it up to where it will give you reminders. I turn my reminders on because accountability, right? But it'll actually remind you to add in your daily activities. So this is also another great system just for your personal business to utilize to help keep you on track with what you got going on and what you're doing. So right here, my activity. You can look at what you did today, you can also look at this week. So I put this in yesterday. So just kind of taking you guys through it right here. And let's put in some numbers. So how was it today? Can you guys see the screen? So how was it today? Did you have a good day? Did you have a bad day? I think today was a good day, yeah? How long did you spend lead generating? Or how much time did you spend finding new clients? 4 hours. How many did you talk to? 10. What did you do to find them? SOI, call, marketing, open house, networking, social media, text message, circle prospecting, door knocking, and farming. Open house, because I'm charming and charismatic, remember? Is everyone you spoke with captured in a database? Everybody you spoke with captured in a database? Click yes, yes or no, whatever it is. How many appointments did you set today? Buyer and seller. How many appointments did you attend today? Buyer and seller. How many new agreements did you get signed today? How many contracts did you write? How many closings did you have? And submit. So then once you submit it, it calculates how much money you could potentially earn. So it says right here, based on today's activity, over the next 2 to 3 months, we estimate $1,750 in GCI. If it looks off to you, update your averages, so you can actually put your averages in here. So that's based on my Bakersfield averages, or based on my activity. Say, I'm
That's
saying-
on your main command page,
Yep,
activity tracker.
yep.
I don't have that on my phone.
You may have to toggle it on, if you go to customize homepage, you might be able to do that there. But yes, so
And
basically,
it's
it's
an activity tracker
Uh-huh.
or tab.
activity tracker. And then, so now that I put that in there, I just go to dashboard. And when it loads,
Yeah, I don't think that's like inherently there.
No, it's not.
is it, so click right here, click custom home, customize homepage.
Even even under that, there's tasks, school.
Tasks,
updates,
product updates, goals, design update.
Just scroll.
You know,
I don't know how to do
PBS
that.
duties come up.
yeah, it's got on mine, Carlos.
I will troubleshoot this later. I think it's just on here to, go on here. Or maybe, has it not been rolled out? Did I just reveal something that's not actually rolled out yet?
Right,
Everybody?
right, you did.
There you go.
Woo-hoo.
Oh, what happened? What did you do?
It is something you have to go deep in the settings to open up. Yep, and it's there.
Sorry.
Did you do something?
Yes. Ooh, look at you guys, getting me off track again. So yes, it is something that we can follow on. I will go individually with everybody, the class and show you how to. So yes, cool. So there's that. So that's just another way to track your results and the things you got going on. Cool. Thank you guys for indulging my hands here. My pleasure. All
Other
right.
exciting stuff. I like to see how your results are actually
Yes.
associated to a monetary value. It gives you more validation in a time when sometimes making these calls seem fruitless because you're
Yes.
not getting immediate gratification.
Absolutely, and so in that same settings place that I just showed you how to follow on when I show all you guys, you can set up reminders. So like I said, I had it remind me 3 times a day, so it would hit me at 3 o'clock, it would hit me at 6 o'clock, and then it would hit me at 8 o'clock. Just like, hey, don't forget to track your results, and it would send me an email, and then I don't think I had text, but it would do just an email and then alert on command. Just remind me like, hey, don't forget to check your results and look at this.
I found it,
Perfect.
activity tracking.
You did?
I'm fine.
All right. So we talked about success system, course, we already got that.
Settings. And then go to command settings on the left.
Talked about this. Perfect.
Now,
Now,
tracking.
board method. Who's familiar with board?
Family.
Family,
Occupation.
family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So the first activity on the daily success tracker is to engage in 10 conversations with people that you know daily. You may wonder, what should you say in a conversation? Recall that yesterday we introduced the Ford method to you. The Ford method is an approachable way to start a conversation with someone in your sphere of influence. We just want to know what it stands for. Why do you suppose Ford works as a conversation method?
People are willing to engage with those conversations.
To talk about themselves as well.
They love
Yes.
that.
You're not coming off as a salesperson.
That's good.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm gonna give you guys a minute. What are some questions that you guys could ask, actually? What are some questions you guys could ask a member of your sphere about their family, about their occupation, about their recreation, about their dreams?
What are the kids doing?
How's your mom if she's, if you knew if she was like sick or something?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Family, work.
Yep. I really like what you said, ask them specifics. right? So when you're having these conversations, taking notes, because how impactful is it that we talk today and then a month from now, I call you like, hey, I know we were going on a family vacation last month. How'd that go? How was your vacation to Hawaii with the kids? I know it was their first time. Right, so making it, I was like, wow, like you actually took an interest in me and like you actually know something or remember. And granted, we're reading notes and to them, it really showed up for them in that way, right? And so going back to building that trust, even to trust you, to be impactful in that way, for sure. Cool. Besides the Ford method, you can always share gratitude and appreciation with the people you know, and they will appreciate you for it. We just talked about this earlier today. Absolutely. And there are also best practices. Ford is not an interview or interrogation. It is meant to stimulate a conversation that is a two-way dialogue. So when you use Ford, your role is to ask a question and then listen carefully without interruption, then make comments, add your own thoughts, and ask more probing questions. Asking more questions is especially important, and they must be appropriate questions. For example, if a person answered an occupation question with, well, I got laid off and employment, you wouldn't jump right into a recreation question, right? So like, hey, how's work going? Like, oh, I got laid off. Cool, what's your next plan? Like, how's the vacation? You're planning vacation? Like, I just told you I don't have a job, like, listen, so actively listen. I know a lot of times we get so caught up in doing a script that we sometimes forget to actually listen for their responses, right? They'll tell you how to respond to them, you just have to be listening for it. And that would be an insensitive and rude question. Instead, you would ask appropriate questions such as, how can I help? I could ask around and find out who's hiring now, and if that works for you. Likewise, if a response to an occupation question is, I just started a new job, you wouldn't respond to it. So what do you like doing for fun on the weekend? You would ask, how's work going for you? So, any questions about using the Ford method or Ford conversation starters? One thing I do want to point out also, and this is my own personal take, you don't have to get through all of them every single time, right? When we're having these conversations, we don't want to get caught up in how I spent the last 20 minutes on a conversation with somebody and we're just chit chatting about whatever. And we want these conversations, like I said before, being purposeful, right? So if maybe this time I'm gonna get through family and occupation. Awesome, you know what? I would love to continue this conversation. Let's set up a time maybe next week. Are you free for coffee? Boom, set the appointment, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be a buyer's consult or a listing appointment like we stated earlier. It could be just an appointment. I want to continue this conversation and I don't want to be rude and cut you off and tell you to shut up, but you are talking a lot, right? And I have other calls that need to make because I'm only doing this Legion for X amount of hours. I have to get my contacts in, right? So we can't be on the phone for 30 minutes with one person that's just chit chatting about any and everything. Like, well, there you know, we all know those people that if we call them right now, they will hold us on the phone for the next 3 hours if we let them, right? So not saying don't call them and manage that conversation, be in control of the conversation. Awesome. I want to continue this. Let's meet next week for coffee. Are you available? Oh, well, sure, I love coffee. There you go. Let's look at example of conversation using the Ford method to inform people that you're a new real estate agent. So, let's see, who wants to roll it? Let's do it. All right, so I will be the agent and, yeah, I'm gonna be me and you're gonna be the client, all right? It's been some time since we've talked. How's the family doing these days? Have the kids gone back to school yet?
Yes, they have, the family's good, the kids are not at home, they're at school.
Awesome, that's awesome. My kids are in school too, and we're all healthy. Where are you working now? Are you working from home or are you guys back in the office yet?
I work mostly from home, but I can come to the office.
Oh, okay, very cool. So typically they would ask, or to ask them how work is going.
Do you work how's your family, how's work going for you?
You know, I actually decided to get into new business recently. I've become a real estate agent. I'm so excited about helping people achieve their dream of home ownership. It's keeping me busy and yet I'm still hiking as much as I can. Since you hike, do you have any recommendations on places or trail that I can go to this weekend?
There's hiking place by the Hollywood sign.
Oh, okay, awesome. Have you picked up any new hobbies during this quarantine time?
I've recently been baking a lot.
That's awesome. Perfect.
What about you besides real estate?
No, so really just sticking to hiking, but you know, I also have a lot of travel plans for the next year too. Do you guys have any travel plans?
Not at this moment, but where are you planning on going?
Well, so I plan on going to New York. That's like definitely on my list of places that I want to hit this year. But you know what? I don't want to keep you long. It was great catching up with you. I also wanted to let you know about my new real estate business. I'd love to tell you more. How about we meet for coffee soon? Are you available next week?
Yes. Yeah. What day are doing?
Yep, nope, that's perfect. Exactly it. There we go. I interviewed real estate. I can nail my skirt. Thank you for participating. Thank you for doing that. Role playing, especially in front of big groups, is never easy or never fun. And so having the confidence to be able to do that is definitely huge. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. And that it's simple as that, right? Introducing, we went through all that, didn't actually hit all 4 of the different ones, the family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And make the conversation natural, right? Let it just flow naturally. All right, second activity. The second activity on the daily success tracker is to add 10 contacts to your command database. Once again, I completely jumped the gun and went through all of them already with you guys. It's for people who have agreed to be in two-way relationship with you. You will start with people in your sphere, those you know and who know you. So, we already looked in command. If you guys can pull up command, that is your database. Those are the people that you'll be calling and reaching out to. Start out simple by adding these people listed in your participant guide and add contacts to your database or whatever database you use. You can do this during your success system time today. The third activity on the daily success system tracker is to write 10 handwritten notes to those in your sphere daily. This takes little effort for sure. You must have cards, postage, addresses, and then it takes a short amount of time to write them. So I always recommend when you're getting contacts, put in the full contact. Do you have a question?
No,
No.
sorry.
No. You're good.
Gotcha.
I saw you like right there a couple times. I was like, I feel like I ignored you, but I keep on
No.
meaning to go back. So, okay, cool.
It sounds better.
I know, that's exactly the kind of see. So yes, having your postage, you can easily, I went to CVS and got little thank you cards. So anywhere you can go, get thank you cards. Dollar store, absolutely. Dollar store, once you guys get some production, order your own custom ones for sure. That have like your nice little logo on them and all glossy paper and whatnot. Once we're in production, don't all go out and buy. Probably so many to go buy postcards. No. Once we get some business going, then you can invest in that. But for sure, dollar store, CVS, Walmart, just a small little box of thank you cards that you have so you can start filling those out daily. I highly recommend. Yes.
What about, the new year is just, you know, obviously business cards, whatever. You could just get to order the business cards from Kate every year. I mean, say, you know, happy New Year's, new year going here, let me know how the kids doing, do that.
100%. 100%. It doesn't have to be thank you cards. It can be any type of card.
No, I'm saying, so happy New Year.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great choice.
That's a goal, that's a goal.
Especially
That's a
for
goal.
those of us.
Good.
I didn't give myself another goal.
Good.
Good idea, that's good, Suzanne.
What is the purpose of sending handwritten notes to people? How is it different than a text message, for example?
Personal.
Yes, absolutely. Every time I get, every time I get something that's handwritten, like whether it's just like handwritten on an envelope or whatever, you know, these, like advertising people, they've gotten real crafty. Like, it was like totally like spam mail. But like they handwrote the front envelope, so I was like, oh, this is important. I opened it, I was like, you can get 10% off of your. But it was like a handwritten like on the front, or at least it looked handwritten on the front. So yes, it attracts attention as well, right? When somebody sees something in there that's handwritten, it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna open this, I'm not gonna open the bills. But I'm gonna open this, frankly, this is a little bit more, this is something that's more personal. It's more personal, exactly, 100%. And if people appreciate it, they tend to keep it longer, right? If it's actually handwritten. I know I have a really hard time with throwing away cards. So like I have a drawer full of like Christmas cards and like thank you cards, just different things that I just can't throw it away. And it's like people that I haven't talked to in like years, and I just have it for me.
And then you know that they took their time to do the part for you.
Any compromise going over the daily success system? Yes.
When you said that in command, that you should only be the people in command that have agreed to a two-way relationship with you.
I said that.
In the
It was,
first part of it, yeah.
That a conversation is a two-way relationship.
But no, that you only put people in command that have agreed to be in a two-way relationship with you.
Yes.
So if you've got people that you're already friends with,
Mhm.
does that qualify as agreeing to be in a two-way relationship, or do you have to say
I
something?
If these are friends, and you said friends, I volunteer my friends things all the time. My best friend is in my database, and I told her, like, hey, I'm gonna do some stuff with your contact, you might receive some emails from random agents, just so you know, because I wanted them to have a actual contact they can play with in command that had went through a transaction, so they could see the documents, portion of the opportunities, they could see what it looks like training on the client updates and things like that. So yes, when it's a friend, it's implied, I'm gonna reach out to you, you're my friend, like, why wouldn't I reach out to you? And still have that conversation with them, like, hey, just wanna let you know, I'm adding you to my database, it should be an easier conversation because this is a relationship you already have. But I'm adding you to my database and you'll be receiving emails from me. Nobody, none of my close friends or relationships have ever had any issue with receiving any type of mail or anything from me. Because they know me and they know what my business is, because I had that conversation starting out. Now, if it is somebody that we're kind of, we don't really talk much, reach out before you put them in there, for sure.
What about, when you're meeting other agents at open houses or whatever, and you exchange business cards, does that constitute being able to put them in your database so that when you have a new listing, you can send out an email to them?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, there's so many, I'm on so many mailing lists, and I get so much stuff from other agents, and I'm like, I'm not even in Bakersfield anymore, and I'm getting like open house lists and market updates and trends. My old office still sends me a daily update, a daily newsletter email, and I'm like, I am there. But yeah, so that when you're handing out your business card, you're giving them your contact information, and ultimately you want those relationships, right? So from the other side of it, you want those relationships, so give me all your cards. I'll put them all in my database and everybody's gonna get it bi-weekly human nurture. You know?
I just want to make sure that there wasn't any rules around it, or like or there's a simple script that you're supposed to say when you add someone into your database.
Yeah.
So, I'm taking my phone list or everyone that I've got in my phone, and I'm reaching out to them.
Yeah.
It's only with my phone or personal emails, but at what point can I say, oh, and by the way, you're gonna receive something else?
Yeah, right. So we talked about doing the 8x8 to solidify the relationship, and then putting people on that 36 touch campaign, right? So the people that are in the 36 touch, those are the people that we have that relationship with. I can 100% say I could put every single one of my family members and friends on a 36 touch right now, and I would get no complaints from, because we have that relationship, right? So it's all about building those relationships. The only reason why you would hesitate is if that relationship hasn't been built. Does that make sense a little bit? So yeah, so building that relationship, that's the point of the 8x8. So let me spend this time getting to know you, and then now I'm going to send you all of the world. Cool, awesome. So We talked about our ahas, so now it's time, guys. For our daily success system. Woo! Thank you, again. Excited, somebody's excited about building a business today. So we come to the end of our lesson for today, this is not a dismissal. And now we move into the success system. So we'll do a quick reminder of the success system, then we can dig into the next hour, so usually it's 2 hours, but I kind of went over everything, so that was my fault, I apologize for not. Give you guys the full 2 hours of Legion. Before we do, remember that each day and night you grow in how you think, feel, act, and implement what you've learned. From learning and ahas, you move toward the achievement of your big life. And that's what we're here for, right? To achieve big goals. So in your participant guide, I want you guys to write how you've grown in each of the areas. Allow for 3 minutes, so.
Wait, where we at? What page?
This right here, yep, this one.
Where we at?
33.
40,
43.
is it 42? It tells me 42.
I think the presentation is a bit different than our.
Is it? So it should be these things, this is what we are.
Turn ahas into achievement, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Yes, 43, yeah.
There we go. So taking the time to reflect on what you've learned is important in building your confidence and celebrating your growth. We'll do this activity after each learning session so you can keep track of your learning journey. And now we move into our important success system time where we work in our business together while supporting one another. So there's a difference between working in your business and working on your business. Doing all this learning stuff, we're working on the business, figuring out the system, the tools, the methods we're going to implement. Working in your business is actually doing the things and doing the activities. Yeah. Is everybody open to it and everybody good and excited and ready?
think so.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
So this is at least partially supposed to be used for lead gen time.
Yes,
So specifically making phone calls
so
is
connect.
an aspect of
No,
it. Okay.
so I just want to clarify. So when we're looking at the daily success system. Conversations, right? And this may just be my own personal interpretation. When it says to me, when it says conversation, it's a two-way exchange. So if you're doing that via text message, cool, that's a two-way exchange. If you're doing it via, especially in today's society where it's so social media and tech heavy, that not everybody has time for a phone call at the moment. And that might be my own limiting belief, and I'm just being really transparent with you guys, right? So if it is a texting conversation, or if it's a messenger conversation, anything that constitutes as a two-way conversation where they respond back and we're going through these the forward questions, that to me constitute a conversation, and it's not specifically asking for dials. So to my knowledge, conversation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if it were phone calls, like how the heck are we gonna do that?
Yes.
Like, everybody's calling.
Well, then that's the thing, but obviously we get spread out and do the calls, and then we can reconvene, I would say at, so it's 1:10 now. I would say we reconvene at 1:55. Everybody back in here, and we'll go through our successes. So keep in mind, this is also in your participant guide. 10 conversations, 10 contacts added, 10 handwritten notes, social media, 10-5-1. That's the 10 likes and reactions, 5 comments, 1 post or share, and then an enrichment. So what excerpt are you gonna read out of the book? What are you to enrich the experience to keep it going?
So you want us to do all of those in
As much as you can, because typically you're supposed, like I said, this is my fault, so I was stressing a little bit about time. Typically, you're supposed to have 2 hours to be able to go through all of that. Because we kind of got a little off track, I added in a 10-minute break, that kind of shortened our time down quite a bit. So we only have 55 minutes and we can still hammer some stuff out. It takes an hour to do 15 dials if you're constantly doing it and having short conversations. So we have time.
Got one more question.
Yes,
So on page 45, little A, it says, get your phone and the list of contacts you will get for the session. So I didn't prepare any time. So is there like a homework thing we should get at the end of every session?
Yeah, I would know.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were. It's not really prepared. No one, that wasn't shared with us. I don't know.
Actually, it is yesterday. The,
I'm trying to do command and connect.
yeah, and.
Yeah.
but it's okay because everybody has, and 100%. They have phone, they have social media.
I have this business.
Can I just come like 10 p.m. right now and see if I get conversations going?
Yeah. If you get conversations going, but you, I know, have made calls before.
I haven't called.
Yes.
I
And
just
got
think
a
that we're all in the same room, but.
Well, no, so that's what I'm saying, you guys can spread out, we can go over there, you can go to the mobile agent area, so we can spread out and then reconvene at 1:55 to see, go over all the last little bit items.
Okay.
Do you want us to do like actual conversations with actual people or just?
Nope, actual conversation with actual people, this is where the accountability comes in, right? This is where it gets done, this is where the energy in the room shifts, and I go to be everybody's favorite person. So- But yes, this is how. Huh?
Ask your business and then put that in this strongly. How do I ask that friend or?
Not if it's a strong lead.
Would never have been talking.
So.
What would you ask your friend to do?
Yeah.
I'm reaching out to someone.
Perfect. No, that's exactly it. So just because they say coffee, I'm not a big coffee drinker. I will never ask somebody to coffee. I will ask somebody to drinks. I'll ask somebody to go eat. Like, let's get lunch, like, let's do a brunch, let's do something. So I will set an appointment that way. But the ultimate goal is, like I said, getting in front of these people, right? And building that rapport. They know you actually that they're friend as opposed to that they're realtor. Right? So establishing yourself as that, building these relationships, it doesn't have to be, if I call my best friend now, chances are we're not going through the Ford method because I already know about her family, her occupation, her dreams, and her recreation. I know all these things about her already because we talk daily, right? So I challenge you, reach out to somebody that you haven't talked to this week, right? And build that relationship. Yes, ma'am.
What if the friend that you're calling doesn't like to be called, but texting?
Then text them.
Okay.
Yeah, meet people where they're at.
Do their preferred method of.
Do their preferred method. Don't overthink. I see you guys now overthinking. Do not overthink it. It is just contacts, right? Don't put too much weight on it. We are not asking these people to marry us. We are not asking them, hey, do you want to buy it right now? Like I have a $1 million buyer or $1 million seller. Let's go buy a box right now. We're just reaching out, just making connection, right? We're having a conversation.
Can I just give a couple examples of what I've been doing the last couple of days? One, someone mentioned taking you mentioned taking advantage of the fact that it's New Year. So I've been leaving calls for anyone, or making calls to anyone that I didn't talk to over the holidays. And just said, hey, thinking of you, hope you had a great holiday. If I end up getting a voicemail, just wanted to say how much I appreciate having you in my life. Happy New Year. Look forward to talking to you soon. Give me a call. And then, like, that's not the two-way conversation, but at least it's establishing contact again. And these are people that I wouldn't necessarily talk to every week, probably like twice a year. And just making that contact. If I actually get them in person, then it's kind of very much the same conversation. And or following up with, hey, want to get together next week or next opportunity.
Absolutely. Yes. So we all good?
Yep, let's do this.
All right, ready? Great, you said ready.
That's so good.
And I'm here as a resource, if you guys want me to help and to role play something with you, if you're a little bit apprehensive, let me know, we can role play it really quickly. But yes, everybody, break out. Let's make it ready. That energy shifted. Everybody just look for the door, right? Everybody really liked you at the beginning. And then as soon as yeah, so that's one of the things, so I'll get with Simon and see how we can get something like that on the schedule. To where, so what we did in my old office, we literally just had a day and every agent on the phone for scheduling, so they would call. We would role play, they would set the appointment, and then whatever time they set the appointment for, they had to show up that day and that's time at the office, knock on my door, and we would go right into the role play and we would do it right there. So, yes, absolutely, we could do something like that, I said, with Simon, and see how it works logistically and time frame and whatnot, and I'm sure Fred will want to be a part of it as well, so I'll reach out to him also, but yes, so. So you guys see to go out there, you guys don't have to stick.
Someone at the call center.
Yeah. You ready, like, let me, I hope.
This. They won't, he took it. Must. And I was like staring at you earlier and I was like. I totally need that, like the rain is like totally killing me.
It's such a weird time, right? Everyone is like, oh, like a lot of people that I know they work. You know what?
That's all I need to.
Yeah, it's not like, I prefer texting them.
Yeah.
And they, you know what, if they're at work, then you get to see the voices, then they get to hear your voice and the intention behind your voice. I did that with one person on my way in today, it's in meeting already. She called back, we were in the bathroom, so we came as well. And the message that she gave me back, which I made in tears. It was just so beautiful, so. But that constitutes conversation, which came back to me. Yeah, even though it's so voice now.
What time are we supposed to come back in here?
Live.
5:02.
That's my buddy. So I have. One of the main things that like Bob had asked me to do originally is just obviously to reach out to everybody I know, you know. And a lot of those people are people whose phone number or email or anything like that I don't have, it's just like Facebook contact, whatever. So I feel out for this message. So I originally did a lot of people with kind of like I can wait until. Okay. With kind of like people I haven't spoken to in a long time, right? Like old high school friends or whatever, you know. With like, you know, been a long time, hope everything's going okay. Want to let you know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of that, I'd also love to be able to stay in touch and send you, you know, some updates might be useful to you, whatever. This whole script type thing, requesting, you know, their contact information. Some people like, absolutely, yeah, great to hear from you, happy to help, here's my info. That didn't happen that often, but it would happen sometimes. And then I eventually kind of evolved that into not putting that second half, not adding the request for information, basically. Just, just want to leave, this is what I'm doing, if hear of anybody, wants to sell, you want to give it the next step, but feel free to let me know. Et cetera.
Okay.
And then if they responded, then send, the request, I'm like, okay, this person's actually at least engaging and whatever, but can you just, I was wondering if you could just look at this, I just want to get your thoughts on this right here. So this is for people who have already responded, or at least like just an ad later, like I know they have at least seen that first message or something like this. What are your thoughts on that?
So
Just wanted to.
you're on the right track.
Yeah, okay.
My only thing is that you don't want to just, when you're doing it that way, like, you want it to be more informal. So, for example, if I were to reach out to you and see your face and be like, hey, Tim, how's it going? Right, you're gonna respond, hey, I'm good, how are you? I'm awesome, man, just getting where, blah, 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 how's them, how are things? So literally following the same course script
Yeah.
and then asking for the information.
Got it.
As opposed to immediately doing it for the, because with it being such a prompt response like that, that's fully outlined and put together, it's like, oh, okay, that's on it.
Yeah,
And then most of them wouldn't even read, and that's why when you're doing it the way you were the first time, with saying everything all at once, they're like, that's why people wouldn't get that information, you're asking to get into a relationship with them, not building the relationship. Does that make sense?
yeah,
And we do it all the time when we're asking for, clients and whatnot. We're asking them like, hey, trust me with $1 million. Or a property radio. We don't have a little relationship, like, hey, you want to buy or sell, and that's the real estate, say, whoa. You're trying to get married, you dating me first.
so it's the recommended route to me,
Has it been working for you?
a little bit, not too well.
Gotcha. So,
So if it was just my thinking, I would have taken that route right off the bat.
so let me ask you, whose
Like,
business is
man,
it?
fine. I know. So I'm also listening to other individuals around here,
Absolutely, and not to discredit anything that anybody says, everybody has a system that works for them, right? Some people are super regimented on phone calls. That's just not my thing, right? I'm better in-person interactions, that's my thing, so if you're trying to force me to do cold call, that's not my method, so I'm more effective doing this. Just like we talk about music. If I listen to music class, I can do it and it's not gonna be as effective as right? But I could keep on going away through it and keep on fucking around so I get somewhat decent at it and am I gonna do it fulfilled? Or is it something that's daunting that I'm not gonna wanna do and ultimately I'm not doing because I hate it? Right, because I'm not comfortable with it, or would I be better suited at, let me do an open house, I'll do 10 open houses a month, I don't care. I'm comfortable with that, that is my thing, and I'm going to get a really good result because I'm doing it at a high level. Right, and I have to take that ownership of, this is my business, and yes, holding accountable to meeting these metrics. And I'm gonna get to the metric the way that I need to get to it. I'm gonna use the system and the model and get to those numbers this way, right?
yeah.
Making it work for you.
I sent out hundreds of these messages already.
Mhm.
And I can't go back now though. Like I can't initiate it again how I wanted to, which is what it suggested.
But you can,
I literally can't do it, like it's already gone.
and
Because I haven't talked to him.
be different moving forward, right?
Yeah, but
So instead of doing it that way through Messenger, maybe I'm gonna comment on your new picture of you and the kid that you just had, or you just went on vacation, maybe I'm gonna comment, awesome, looks great, blah, 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 whatever, and start building that relationship that way more organically.
sure,
And then when I send you a message, it's gonna be like, oh, hey man, like you were just talking to me on my new latest post or whatever. Right, build that relationship that way. It's not completely bomb and completely up in flames, it's take longer for words to do that. There's so many people that like I've known personally that have not necessarily irritated me, but I've ignored because they sent me a message like that.
Hell
right
yeah,
off the bat.
I would too. I would too, and I was so damn reluctant to do it.
So one thing, and then we talked about this before in the previous class, being authentic to you, right? What's authentic to you? And doing it.
I appreciate it.
That's great.
That's a tough one.
Hello? I'll just put a call her.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Yeah. So I'm not, I need to call them tonight. I think you got for a dinner show, and then inside the building, there is. You, while you're getting voting, or. Yeah, just checking on it. I had to be here. How you feeling?
Oh, I was saying, no, that birthday.
Yeah, I'd like to get marketing action. Just take it slow. Even talking to me, right, come back. Okay, cool. It's going good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the girl, yeah, the girl. It's a trip deal. I know. They were going up, then, the knowledge. They were. Yeah, like.
Yes, the sister that would be now, the city things. And. It's not even download something, you know, and place notes. I will try to see how I can get around that. Get better.
Yeah. Equally.
Are we good? We good?
I've sent like 8 messages, and these are people that I know are literally at work right now. I can call them and leave a message as well and follow up, but I just kind of.
All other people.
Wait, what?
I said all other people. Reach out to others, if they're at work.
Well, these are also people that I know, like. Are looking.
So that is the big, we don't have any guys know, but that is the biggest misconception when people are leisure rated.
Okay,
It is not always, it doesn't always have to be somebody that's looking right now,
okay,
right? You'd be surprised how many people show, they had us in back, and we're like, oh, you know, the last 10 people that you had in your phone. They're okay, cool. You want to just have my partner, they're like, sitting for business that they know you might as well do myself, that's real estate. They call my partner, hey, how do you live with that? I bought a house, I've been doing it for 6 years, and I called, and I said, hey. I know you probably don't, but who do you know that's looking to buy or sell right now? And he's like, oh, well, such and such, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, we live together, like, why would you tell me? He's like, "Oh, you never asked, and I was like, oh, annoying. And it was an aha for me that you never know where the business is gonna come from. So literally reaching out to everybody. If we try to just cherry pick, like all the people that we know that are going to buy and sell right now, we're gonna be cherry picking all day.
no, for 100%, I think for the purposes of this exercise, I was doing this, like, to see if I can get quicker responses, but everyone's getting a phone call and a contact us, 100%.
Absolutely, that's the best way to do it, just fly and wherever.
I just called my sister and she was like, out of all these people, you choose me to call. I'm like, I'm not actually talking to you, I'm actually talking to people in your office right now.
Exactly.
That's the reason I'm calling you first.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's absolutely, it's not who you know, it's who they know, exactly, who they're in a relationship with. She can be getting lunch and somebody's like, oh, you know, I'm thinking about selling, they're like, my husband told me, what? Boom, you never know when to catch them at the right time. And then same thing, I see you're on Facebook, same thing, when you're commenting on stuff,
Okay.
don't be super selective, 'cause I'm all whatever. Oh, awesome. It's great, it's like so much fun, how was it? Them questions about them, people love talking, so they will answer, they will. But and it gives you a reason to now then message.
I already got it. Okay, here we go.
No, like you was leaving messages. Right.
Yeah, so I obviously. They figure out. Dolphins tend to swim. So they figure out where to start, they spot them, and then they'll. Maybe. There's a fish set for water, in the water, and let's go. That was fun. The experience really brought us to more. Taking care of it.
That's how.
The afternoon, pick up and serve in the afternoon, have a little break, get all your supplies, your food, and then. Other side is the real.
So engagement, or just liking, commenting on a view. We have to do our own posts here. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Say your.
When I like use like a layout. Like
Mhm.
and I was just the one that I'm doing, so I here's versus facts, like just like a informational one, or if you have an open house, then you can like post your flyers.
Mhm.
Something like that.
Okay,
So what if you don't have, let's say, anything that you don't have house yet, let's say, what do you do?
she can focus something that can
That's
engage
what-
people, you know?
Yeah, so this is buying a home like yours versus facts, so like, I don't think I have an open house to speak in yet. So I just wanna post something, so this is kind of like more informational.
Just like,
There is a mention, there are
Yeah.
templates and
Yeah.
oh, really?
And then design.
You're not using.
this one's fears versus facts, and what are you putting for your caption? I'm not gonna use the same one, I'm just curious, like what's your drawing in point, like?
The caption.
Mhm.
I'll put, we're thinking of buying a home, and there could be many fears that come with it, but a lot of the fears have perfectly reasonable solutions. Check out the facts that buy a home, which shows that the cost is not as scary.
And where did you get the facts from? Were you posting like an article or something?
Some of the templates already like come with,
Oh, do they?
yeah,
Oh, wow, cause I mean, I use Canva, I already create a bunch of stuff, but I mean, obviously I'm creating it. This is a lot better.
yeah.
Let me go to command, good to know. I didn't know that they really gave you like the whole rundown.
Yeah.
So over here, it's in your command and it's under, I've never utilized it.
It's in designs.
Okay, so that would be down here somewhere, oh, here we go.
And then I usually do in the top right, create design.
Okay.
So yeah. Social.
Are there videos you can learn how to use the command? You can do YouTube videos now.
Yeah, honestly,
I'm not really.
it's okay, I always say go to YouTube University for everything, I call it YouTube
Really?
University. If you wanna try to look figure out anything, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a command, I'm sure they have them though.
Right.
But just type it in, like about what, you know, real estate, you know, anything that you can think about. That's where I would recommend, but obviously I think Carlos can also probably show you. All from here. Because whatever. I just go to YouTube. That's what my best friend calls it, YouTube University. She learned how to get software on YouTube.
I basically asked my recent license exam. Watch.
Okay, so now we're here, now what?
You can just.
Have anybody gotten any appointments?
Got you, the buyer on little.
That's fine. Yeah. Absolutely.
So I made the comments,
That's good.
And then I told someone that I'm gonna meet, well, he works at the West End. I know that person for a long time, I just told him that I'm gonna stop by and say hi and give him my business cards,
Okay,
so.
that's perfect.
Progress.
And that's really the basis of it, right? It's just building these habits. This is day one. So don't expect anybody to be like, oh, yep, got 10 appointments, had did all this stuff. Like, it's great when it happens, and it's just flexing that muscle and building it up, right? So the more consistent that we are about it, then we come in on Thursday, we're reaching out to a different set of people, right? And doing different comments and different posts and shares and likes. You're going to see that by the end of these 20 sessions, you're going to see a change in your business. It's gonna be a habit. So now, you know, oh, I can do 10 calls, I can do 20 calls today. Why not?
I was in this coaching Zoom yesterday with a friend who's a life coach, and she has a lot of people that are in like network marketing. And there's a girl who went from, she said she had like $100 to like $70,000 in like a matter of
Hi, this is
2 months.
Camille.
Like a really short window of time, and I was like, how did you do that? I asked her. And she said she started posting reels like every single day, it didn't even matter how to do this or business. She was just like posting reels all the time, for obviously one of those. But she said that improved how she grew her audience, and cause you know, we overthink sometimes posting something, at least I do. And I feel like,
Great job.
I do need to be posting every day, how do you? Do you?
Not every day.
Okay, so you're younger than me, I thought you maybe probably more on top of it than me. But like, she posts every day, maybe more than once a day, and like that.
Are they like her own reels, like, or does she just?
They're her own reels, they're her, like doing a reel of, sometimes they're the voiceover, sometimes it's just her talking, sometimes it's her and her dog. There was, I mean, I asked her what her, I'm like, do you mind, you know, exchanging your social media, cause I was curious, I wanted to see what she was doing, and I'm like. It's just so basic, and not, you know, no shade, I just meant it in the most like, wow. So anyways, I just wanted to go out there too, like, I think that's something that we implement these things.
Really good. So her reels were just.
Oh, no, she's not even a real, she's like, she had this e-commerce, you know, like, and stuff. Again, these people are all real estate. Oh my God, this is how I thought the street was gonna be when I was working here. They call it me, am I? So look, she got 72,000 and she went out like. She says she went from this to this, she said from like October to December. Straight up. And so. Yeah, just literally it's her, these are what she had. Look, everyone else is throwing out the products every once in a while. But it's just her, and so like I'll tell you. And she's chit-chatting. And this got nothing to do with their business either, that's my point, not saying that I obviously want them to be whatever related, but. It's something they're out there.
Yeah, but it's.
Christina, I overheard because I have Easter, I can just do. So you're talking about doing reels. Absolutely, they do not all have to be real estate related.
That's what I see,
Yeah.
Different engagement, right?
Just for engagement and then also coming from contribution. You know, you guys are more than just real estate agents. You guys all have something that you do or you specialize in. Unique personalities, show that out. That's what people want to see. They can go online and Google statistics. They can get that anywhere if they really want it. But getting you, that's the brand that you're selling is you. So be authentic to yourself. Like I said, me being charismatic and charming, that's my shit. I push. Yeah, when I'm talking to people, I'm going to shoot a line, I'm going to joke, I'm going to make them smile, because that's how it's like. And then that's.
And that's how you can just sign that contract online over there.
Exactly.
If they're following you and seeing that charismatic content that of who you are,
They want to.
then, you know, once you slip in the actual facts that were the, you know, the, bring the education and the facts for what we do, then they're like, oh, should they, yeah, then, you know.
I was like, and you were drinking about this and concept about looking it over, and yes, I have done that before. Yes.
Mine is long pro.
Exactly.
I don't do in my little chat, it's fun, and then I get all kinds.
I have a client right now, and granted, I really wanted him in the office, everything is fair and good. But I'm not having him sign anything crazy, and he trusts me completely, and I'm just like, here.
So I clicked on the money that we have on the first meeting here. So where did you get the like whole breakdown on what I told you like? Depending on which one. You said it could be like traffic. Or a comment or something that gave you like some kind of tap in.
Like fear versus back and listed, but she had
Oh, this one right there,
yeah,
like what it's saying right there,
yeah, that.
and then you just wrote that in the comments.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Alright, let's see.
Oh, yeah, that's an
Rather just making a lot of you.
Excuse me.
Isn't turning around making money.
Absolutely. That's absolutely it. Kill them with kindness. That's why I do.
Oh,
10 likes, 5 comments, 1 cup.
5 comments.
Mortgage interest rate, that would be a good one.
I just literally just random likes.
Do you already have a little logo? Because it says obviously you want these located and deviating, Google version, where do we get that?
You can also put it on there,
Read it.
when you. When you go in there. And you like on it, and like the logo, you can push KW and then.
So like when I select the one I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try and do this, colors. I'm ready, printing versus fire. Use.
So, this is like
Logo on that.
my theme all day is stop trying to skip ahead. So I totally skipped ahead and was like, hey guys, go do your success system. And now like Zora's gonna try to find where we're at again. And it's like, okay, 20 minutes of role play. 10 minutes, thank you. 10 minutes preparing a call list for the day. 45 minutes of real play. 30 minutes of updating your database. My bad, y'all. So yes, my apologies. I did not continue reading before I sent you guys off to. In my defense, it said, now let's do our success system. So that's what I thought. Now we're gonna do the success system. And moving forward, that will be the breakdown of the 2 hours. So that way you guys know. So what I will instruct the instructors to do moving forward. So the next session is on Thursday. Instead of 20 minutes of role play, that's 10 minutes of role play. Makes sense, so that way we're not taking away from the other time, and that way you still get your break, so that 20 minutes will be 10-minute break. And then just get back here promptly at 12:10, so that way, boom, you go right into your role play with your accountability partner that we will pick out before we leave today. So that's everybody's homework to have an accountability partner. By the time you come back on Thursday, you should have an accountability partner. Cool, that is preferably somebody in this group. Make sense? So that way, number one, you guys hold each other accountable, and number two, you guys are on the same page with everything. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I mostly do this from home, like watching the videos.
Totally fine.
But I don't know, I don't think I can get accountability.
So for you, I would use Leanne as your accountability partner. She's your coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would use her as your accountability. So you have her, so that way, like, if you're doing that, or whatever time you guys set up to meet or to chat, you guys already have that established. So yes, so moving forward, it'll be 10 minutes of role play, then 10 minutes preparing a call list. This is another system that top agents use to save time. Once they have a list, they start at the top and call people without hesitation. You'll learn more about how to create call lists in Command. So call list or the list of people that you're reaching out or targeting, right? Contact list, I should say. 45 minutes of real play. This is making the actual conversation, having a conversation, chatting, and all that fun stuff. And then 30 minutes updating your database with information gathered from your conversation and following up on any promises made. So if you're having a conversation, you're telling them, okay, cool, I'll send you a list of properties. That 30 minutes is spent doing that list of properties or doing whatever follow-up that you're going to do. For them. These activities are the daily habits of success. We practice them every day and Ignite, and you will continue with this rhythm for the rest of your career. Use the pages in your participant guide. Let's all work together on these activities and support one another, and we'll call signing in such activities. So time. How many are you still doing it? Who made calls? Who did calls?
I
Who
did.
did? Very nice. Who did Facebook? Very cool, very cool. Who did text messages? Very cool. Who did all three? There you go. See, that's nice. So it's all about, I don't expect perfection from everybody, right? Like
I
that is not.
cheated a little. Oh, I confess too. You're so cute.
I don't expect perfection, right? The whole point of going through Ignite, being here for 4 hours, doing all of these activities is to build that muscle, right? So that way, when you guys are out on your own, and I'm not standing here holding you accountable and barking down your neck, you guys are still making the calls and doing the activities, whether reaching out, finding the clients, doing the lead generation, right?
Why is it so, it's so like angst about it? Why is that?
It comes from fear, so not knowing what to say.
Yeah.
And not knowing how to properly navigate the conversation and lack of practice. And then lack of scripting. So I found that the more comfortable I got with the script, the more comfortable I was having the conversation. So now I'm comfortable with any client coming to me and asking me whatever they want, whether I know it or not. I know somebody that knows it. I just handled my first probate sale and it was a complete train wreck. And my client thinks I'm the best agent in the world. They have no idea.
First probate?
My first probate.
Oh. Okay.
I know. It's like, I'm so being on my head. Ooh. But yeah, it was my first probate sale and I was able to navigate it because I knew who to pull for resources. I asked her tons of questions. Hey, what do I do when they do this? Or what does this mean? Or is this how it's supposed to work? And her and Leanne giving me tons of information and info, yeah. But literally, you guys all have the same resources, right? So you get into any transaction, there's somebody here in the office that has either done it at a high level, can help educate you on how to do it or the next steps, or be a resource for you, right? So we're all here to help support you, so don't have that that fear, and like I said, it's just building relationships. Reaching out, you are one of the most charismatic people that I have met, so you being afraid to reach out to people, it's not in your personality.
Oh, wow.
You have that natural ability to just gravitate toward people and spark up conversation, literally doing the same thing with someone about.
Okay.
Yep, or at an open house, if that's your way of connecting, like I said, I'm not a phone person, open house is my thing. That's how I connect, that's what I do. Right, so figuring out what your niche is and doing that, yes, ma'am.
Well, what do you do when you do an open house and then next week they ask another agent that then comes and then that same person comes back here and there and they take them. I don't like open house.
So I'm gonna be super honest, if somebody is able to take a lead from you because you didn't do your job.
Follow.
The follow-up, absolutely. Anybody you can call any of my clients and try this with the monitor.
Call them. It's like, I'm in an open house, and then the next week, another agent in an open house. And then when he came in the open house, then the other agent was there, so I might as well reach out to him, oh, I thought, you know, it was one of the same, because it's the same company.
Right,
That's the part.
so my open house system, the way that I do it, you come to the open house today's Sunday, you come to the open house, see the property, awesome. Soon as I'm closing up shop for the open house for that day, I'm sending out a text message. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by, how was the open house today, how was it, scale of 1 to 10, what happened?
Yeah.
Then they respond, cool, Monday, I'm reaching out again with a phone call, hey, thanks again for stopping by the open house, just wanted to touch base, see if I can help answer any questions on any of your real estate needs.
Oh.
Cool, you have A, B, C, and D, these are your questions, this is what they're looking for, you're in the market, what have you. I'm also asking these questions while they're walking through the open house. Hey, what are you looking for? How can I help? Cool, not this property, how'd you like the property? Oh, I didn't really like it, awesome. I have a list of 4 other properties in the area, would you like me to send them to you? Awesome, establishing that relationship, right? And then I'm following up with them throughout the week, solidifying myself as their agent, we're setting the appointment. Cool, when can I take you out to go see properties? I want to make sure that you have the best representation. I want to do an actual, let's have a buyer's consultation, right? Set an appointment at the open house, setting a buyer consultation. Hey, it was great meeting you today. I would love to sit down and go over more of your wants and needs in your property that you're looking for. Are you available Monday at 3 to sit down for a buyer's consultation at my office? Cool, that is your appointment. So that way,
I text
when,
them when I'm walking to their car. When I text them.
So yes.
They're leaving.
that's great and being quick, and when I'm trying to get in the car, I'm not looking at my phone, and then when I see it, like, oh, okay, cool, and I'm off to the next thing. So that's why I personally do it at the end of the day, so that way it gives them time, and I'm still doing it fairly quickly, a lot quicker than most other agents, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then that follow-up, by the 4th or 5th day, most agents have fallen off, they're like, oh, this person's not interested, they're not calling them. And go from there.
They're getting kicked out.
Thank you guys. so
Thank you.
much. How was everything? They're all fine.
Oh, no, we don't. You know what? That's why I think fun. I'm like, no, I just like it. So.
No, thank you guys.
I'll let you stretch a little bit, but it's gonna be a great class. How was the training?
Great.
Awesome.
Carlos did good.
Yeah, he's a rock star.
There you guys put them all in your fridge there.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
They're kind of rolling wild, but I tell you. Thank you guys.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's perfectly fine. I completely understand. I mean, after 4 hours of this, they can be pretty inflamed.
Oh, I was talking about Zoom. But I'm
But you guys want to kind of sit down, look at trees, go get some water. We should be good. All right, so. Very cool.